faster. Living off borrowed time. The clock faster. Living off borrowed time. The clock tick faster. Living off borrowed time. The clock tick 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 tick. The clock tick 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 faster. Living off borrowed time. The clock 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 tick faster.
Hello everyone, this is your week's Living Off Borrowed Time podcast. I am once again not Patrick. I've been doing a lot of intros recently, so it's a little bit of a new look for us, but I've got two very, very special guests on this week, people that I've been really anticipating having on the podcast. We've got John, aka legendary RYM user lookAghost, and we've got Chris, aka another legendary RYM user, DestroyXme, and we've got both of them here today to talk about a topic that I know they're interested in and they've been on for the last couple of years now, and one that I've come to in recent months, and that's to talk about BMB Deathrow, and I guess Jxwish, from which, as you know, I only learned how to pronounce recently, so...
How did you think it was said again?
God, I tried to pronounce the X's and it didn't go well. If anyone's listened to the RCB episode that I did recently with 2 underscores, aka 108 mics, which we now have the other 108 mics.
Yeah, that's just the whole thing. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
It's a whole.
But we can get into that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
There's a lot of microphones we've had on the
hella
pod.
mics, bro. Hella.
But yeah, I tried to pronounce the X's, and I don't know. Our producer Kitten Puke DM'd me and was like, "You know, you really fucked this up, right?" And I was just like, I don't know. So it actually was a gag in the pod where he put in there like, "Hey, this is how you pronounce this." So
yeah, it was pretty impressive how you pronounced it. Like, it wasn't even like XXingleXX or anything.
Yeah, it
might be phonetically makes sense.
It was pretty bad. I think I sounded. That's probably the most white I've ever sounded, which is an accomplishment. But yeah, great to have both of you on. Two users.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, two guys. That really, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say we really follow you guys and really get a lot of our underground rap recommendations indirectly or directly from following along with your guys' stuff. So
Good.
really appreciate it.
I try my best. I mean, it's a lot of adding to that site. Like I don't know whether me or John have added more releases. Probably John, because he's been on the site longer, I think. But I've added like thousands, and I'm just like, there's so much out there you could put on there. There's just so much to explore. So yeah.
How many comments in your adding artist sections do you get from mods who are like, "Where's his current location?"
It's like a constant battle between, like, I swear that I don't think the mods like me very much, because I'll upload something with like a clearly obvious source and they just won't like look at that part of it. It's annoying, but I mean, I guess that's like when you're adding someone who has like one mixtape from like 2015 or appears on one song and nothing else. I do understand why they're hesitant to add them on there.
It's very much like I've added a couple artists recently for like the first time ever, because I just used to like not care about doing that. And it's more of just like, they're like, "Oh, how like do you have anything to verify like that this artist like is who he says he is or whatever? I'm just like, this guy has like maybe his biggest song has like 3,000 plays. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like you're really. It's not like this is some popular guy I can find info on like on the internet of.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've found like a SoundCloud page with like a link to a dead or a suspended Twitter account. So there's basically nothing outside of SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like when you add a song and then the song gets deleted the next day and they're like, where's the song? And you're like, well, it was there. So this still needs to be up. It did exist at one time. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got a link to random tweets that are like, now playing this on SoundCloud.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, my biggest like the thing that always just fills me with dismay is when I go to like an EP or like a mixtape page or even a single, and the SoundCloud link is there, right? But then it's dead, like the artist pulled it or whatever. But it looks as if like the song is still available, right? But then you hit play and it's like actually the song's pulled from SoundCloud.
It's really annoying.
Yeah,
it's very annoying.
Not even getting into how many Jxwish tapes exist now in like abridged forms because they delete tracks all the time because of beefs.
Yeah, it's literally one beef after the other. It's like a train of beef.
Yeah, it never stops.
Never.
Well, I was listening to I'm just going to refer to him as 4J because
I'm not calling him whatever the fuck he's called now. I'm not calling him that. That's yeah. I'm not doing that.
Well, you're gonna burn in hell for that.
Well, you know what? He can do that. That's fine. I welcome it. It's whatever. But anyway, yeah, 4J, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to like his new tape this morning, and I was just thinking like, does he like anyone like ever? Because it's just like the first track is just a diss to a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, he definitely dislikes more people than he likes. It's like even people who were part of that group like get jettisoned at like the slightest. Like something will happen, and then he'll just find any excuse to kick him out. That's happened so many times now. It's unbelievable. Like since that group started, it's almost a totally different lineup now. Really.
I don't even know who's still considered a part of it. I don't think you can really find a complete list.
No. I think all the new members, like all the new guys, like it's like a second wave. Like all the old guys that they either like beefed with, fell out with, or you know when the whole Hex Mafia and Jxwish split happened. That happened when did that happen? Like earlier this year, maybe late last year. When that happened, like half the shit just went down immediately. Like so many songs and projects lost. Very, very sad if you ask me, but you know,
I think this is the most online discussion I've ever had in my entire life. Just these first few minutes.
Yeah. It's someone who had most people will have just no idea what this is. What we're
absolutely no idea. But
this is like the most online genre.
Yeah,
definitely.
Even this is probably for me even more online than like Surge or Hexxcult or like like all of the weirdo like cloud rap stuff that's like been popping up. Like this is even further removed from that. Even though the fans, like I was saying in the RCB pod, like it's still like a circle of all the people that like these things. Like just the Venn diagram is really a circle. But I think this is the most like niche of those things.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Just with how weird and like demented everything is. Which I guess leads me to like, how did you guys get into this stuff?
I will let John go first. And I'd
actually bounce that one back to you because I only got into, I think the first 4J tape I listened to was Legend Killer, and I think I saw it like through you.
I got into 4J when he was still in Underworld. Does anyone remember Underworld?
Isn't that Solfinato?
It was Solfinato. Yeah, it was Taco L's group. So they still exist. They're called Pockets Never Empty now, though. P&E, the label, sorry. And they existed in from 2017 to 2019. It was a very short-lived thing. But it was Taco L's group and a bunch of people in it. I'm talking like people that are now in like totally different groups and just don't get on at all. Like, Solfinato was one of their main guys. And he and 4J and also a few other people like IC, Slur, Two Chains, Hermes as well, who was also part of BMB Deathrow at that time. A bunch of those people basically all got sick of being, from what I've gathered, being treated like inferior artists. Like, it wasn't like a fair collective. It was kind of like recruiting people on the basis that he was better than them. This is just what I've heard. I don't know whether any of this is true, but they basically left, splintered from that. And from that splintering rose Jxwish, because all those people I mentioned were in the original Jxwish incarnation. And originally they were called MGR, as you may know, which I believe is Money Getting Riders. It's one of those.
Yeah, I think it's Money Getting Riders. I think.
Yeah, something like that. But so I've been into 4J when he was dropping songs like Moody. And basically the songs that were disses towards Taco Bell, like all those early songs were like "fuck you for doing this," and from there, like if you go back and listen to that stuff, it sounds so far removed from what he does now, like ridiculously far removed. Like even Legend Killer is almost like tame in comparison to the stuff that's coming out now. And the first 4J tape I heard was "Fuck Off," the mixtape. Which had a bunch of Spaceghostpurrp beats originally, but he took those down because he got mad that Purrp rapped on his beat. I don't know if you guys remember that Purrp song produced by Egyptian and 4J. It was like a 5-minute track and only rapped on like 2 minutes of it. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah, I think it's Florida Top 3 Murder Capital.
That one. Yeah. He was so mad at Purrp over that he basically removed all the songs on his page produced by Purrp. Which is funny when you consider he later became part of BMB Deathrow. I'm kind of ranting, but this is just some background knowledge for anyone who doesn't know. I believe all this is true, and that's kind of how I followed the group. But these days I don't follow them too much because me and 4J have had our disagreements. I don't think he likes me very much. I know he doesn't like me very much these days, but originally we were pretty cool. So I'd say I've been listening to Jxwish now for about two basically since they started, about 2 years or so.
Mm-hmm. So before then, I just cut you off. Before then, you guys were into BMB though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, honestly, getting into BMB probably happened for me. It was like December 2019 or December 2018, January 2019.
Mm-hmm.
When I started 108 Mics, which I have to mention was first. I just got to put that out there. I was first. Yeah. But that's beside the point. That's totally beside the point.
He said on the airwaves that he didn't know there was another one, and he was definitely second.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was a slight at you. He just didn't know that there was another one. You know what I mean? So then he was like, well, you know, I don't know if he's gonna rename the channel. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I know that it was not a. I know it wasn't.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to. I think what he does is totally different to what I do, despite the fact that we share weirdly similar tastes in music. He does totally different stuff to me, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, when I started 108 Mics, I was cool with Hermes from the very start, but Hermes wasn't in BMB at that time. He was the first member to join when I was following them, so that was like mid 2018, I want to say, or it might have been after that actually. I'm not too sure, but yeah, from when he joined to their disbandment was really like a pretty good era for them, because obviously like 2016, I think people, you know, like the early BMB tapes and like the Seder mix, those types of projects, because they didn't really have any projects towards the end. They teased this BMB versus VSOP tape. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was being teased heavily around the time Seder and Hermes joined, like 2019, but it never came to fruition.
They never actually put out like an actual project, like as a collective.
Not officially, no. The closest they came to that is like the fan-made compilations, and I guess like I don't even know honestly, but like when you think about BMB Deathrow and how many members they went through, it's not really very surprising. Like, some of the people that were there at the start don't even make music anymore. Never mind, like, aren't even in the group. So people coming and going, just like Jxwish, will ultimately mean it's going to be a fractured group. And I mean, throughout its history, a lot of the members didn't even like each other, and that all kind of like fizzled up quite uglily. Is that a word? Uglily? I don't know. In an ugly fashion towards the end of the group's life. I mean, I could go on, but in essence, yeah. BMB, I think BMB actually had kind of like a second golden age in like 2018, 2019. I think that was a pretty good period for them. We got a lot of great Hermes projects. Obviously, when 4J and eventually Sellasouls joined, they were all going crazy, dropping some of their best stuff. And even some of the most underrated members, like I still think Lizza is mad underrated, which is weird because like he's got like a decent following and he gets good plays, but like he just doesn't get mentioned like some of the others do. So yeah.
Well, they have so many people that like it's easy to forget once you're at like, you know, member number 15. Or just like, who else do I have to name yet? Like, that hasn't come to mind, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Liz is an interesting one. I didn't really like think he was that great when I was listening to his tracks that were on the compilations, but then he's really got a talent for putting together like an entire mixtape.
Agreed.
Yeah, his EP with Zero Suit this year was really good. The one that came out.
I'm still listening to that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course, I actually forgot that dropped. I always because Zero dropped that one, Hummer Boys, right? And the one with Hermes as well, yeah. But Zero Suit's going crazy this year, or has been all year. So,
he drops like 2 mixtapes a week, so
he's going crazy, man. Yeah, but I like Lizza, man. He's a decent guy too. Our interview is still up. If anyone wants to check that out for a bit of additional Lizza knowledge, I think I did that back in 2019, maybe early 2019. Some gems in there. He definitely had a lot to say, so go check that out if you like. It's on my SoundCloud. But yeah, I like Lizza. He's definitely one of the more. He's very much in his own lane. Like he'll do the plug stuff, he'll do the dark stuff, but it all sounds definitively him. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, he does this sound like filtered through a sort of like Cash Money worship.
Yes,
thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, even down to the cover art.
Yeah,
like at least on the Hummer Boys tape, like that's a very like early 2000s, like late 90s Cash Money cover. It looked like it gives me that vibe.
I Shock the World's cover, which was the longer tape he dropped. I think most of that's actually deleted now, but when he dropped that tape, that was that has a crazy cover where he's like squatting in front of the
yeah.
Sick.
Well, I tried to listen to it and I couldn't find it. So
it's actually on the Lizza archive page on SoundCloud as like one track. Let me find out. I'll find it and I'll send it to you because you can actually hear the whole thing there.
This is the knowledge that we needed on the podcast.
I am a bit of an encyclopedia, for better or for worse. But
I also got to give a shout out to user Tib. He knows.
Oh, Tib, yeah.
He knows a lot, and I've definitely PM'd him for like rare projects that aren't anywhere else on the internet, and he's got them sometimes.
Yeah, he's not too active these days, is he? He must be busy, but
he's on Discord.
Oh, is he? Right. I'm not really a Discord user, but yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
I just don't think I'm in the right Discords, I guess. That's my page. Usually I just find out about a lot of this stuff through RYM. And then, I mean, I'll check a lot of these guys' SoundClouds like weekly, but you know, there's so many of them that I just miss stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Actually Discord's kind of instrumental in the whole disillusion of BMB because the beef with Evil Haze like spilled over into the Spaceghostpurrp Discord.
Yeah, it was messy, right. And I think
everybody was fighting in there.
Yeah, messy.
Just once again, just some of the most online stuff that you will find when your beef with your beef with friends and collaborators is spilling over into a Spaceghostpurrp Discord.
Yeah, it's honestly, so much happened in like one day. It's impossible to even recount. But yeah, it ended with a bang. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Definitely ended with a bang.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I clearly got into these guys later. It was probably about like March this year. Because I had seen a lot of their stuff last year, and I just like hadn't, given it a shot at that point. Not even a particular reason. It was just like I wasn't, I just wasn't in tune with it. I didn't know how much of it there was, because I had been following like a lot of like tread and stuff like that, like experimental, trap and stuff for a long time. But I didn't realize how like fast like a lot of the stuff was coming. So then once I really got into it, I was like, oh, I have like, a couple months worth of listening to do.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where it started. So I think like right about when like quarantine in the States hit is when I got into all this stuff.
Well, it's a good time, really. I mean,
I couldn't do anything else, So,
yeah.
It was, it was really interesting. Just once you acclimate yourself with it, I feel like you either really like the aesthetic and just the general vibe, or you don't. And I was on board with it.
Yeah, it's I mean that aesthetic, and I guess them taking, obviously Raider Clan was like stage 1, right, for Purp, and then we had BMB, which is like a whole other. It's like it was a different type of group, BMB. I think. I think at the beginning, at least, the idea was just to grab a bunch of talented producers. Hence why we had like the early lineup of Screaming Flame, Evil Haze, and then I believe Loko was the third to join. I could be wrong. And then I Am Pissed as well, who is definitely on the most underrated of those 4. I don't see people talk about his beats nearly enough compared to Loko and Haze, especially. And then I think it evolved into more of like a general rap collective, kind of like Raider Clan was. But I guess like I feel like Raider Clan maybe wasn't quite as internet based. I'm not sure because I don't know nearly as much about them and how they formed. But I mean, most of these people probably never even met each other. And I know they did do shows sometimes, like maybe not the whole collective, but they did. Like Chxpo definitely has done shows with some of those guys, but as a whole, like most of them probably never even met each other, which is pretty crazy to think about on the whole, because they're from whole different parts of they were all American, I believe, 90%, 99% sure of that, but they were all from like such different parts. Like Baby Gucci's from like Texas, I think. Don't quote me on that. They were all just from totally different parts. So it was going to be impossible for them to really exist as like a really cohesive group, I guess. But they still gave us a bunch of great music, whether it was collaborative or not. Like you could go through their individual discographies and have a great time, which I imagine is what you did, as well as going through the mixtapes and stuff.
I mean, I was feeling very based on the days when I listened to like 15 Chxpo mixtapes, and it's just like, all right, how many times am I going to hear like, let's Chxpo? And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna. It's just like I'm putting my teeth together and trying to speak, and that's listening to Chxpo. But it's good. It's good. Like
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
You have to take a shot every time he says he's either bloody, grimy, or icy.
Grimy and icy, definitely. You'd be dead by the 3rd song on a.
Or if he says he's a wizard and a magician in the same song, rhymes those two things together. Or he casts a blizzard, them types of things.
Yeah, I think with Chxpo, I was saying this a few weeks ago to Kid and Puke on our Lil Peep pod, because we were talking about the Peep and Chxpo like collabs. But I was saying, like, is there a comp, like a comparison point for Chxpo in rap history? Like, who is the comparison for him? Like, he doesn't sound like anyone that I can think of.
I mean, I've heard him described as retarded Chief Keef, which I don't agree with.
He does sound like Keef sometimes, especially the auto-tune stuff. Does sometimes sound like Keef, but it's nowhere near the same like vibe at all. I mean, Keef's all about loud, right? Chxpo's not really about that. He's about the grimy, pure griminess and lo-fi. I hate saying lo-fi, but you know what I mean, like the budget aesthetics. I think more so. He kind of sounds like Gucci too, almost like old Gucci, right? Because like he had the stuffy nose, right, when he was rapping, and Chxpo sounds like he grits his teeth. So to me, and he definitely draws parallels between him and Gucci. I've seen him use Gucci's cover art and stuff. So I think that would be my choice for best comparison. But even then, they're not that similar at all. So
yeah, I guess he's obviously influenced by like Gucci, Lil B, like even Purp probably. But like, I guess he in terms of pure sound, there maybe isn't like a 1-to-1 comparison.
No.
Yeah, because then he'll go and do like, total emo rap.
Right.
Yeah, God, yeah. I mean, I think I might like those emo savage tapes more than some people, but God, there is some bad shit on there. Like, Christ. It's
I can't listen to those the full way through.
It's just
there are some real heaters on those tapes, but there's also like some real trash.
The Peep, the 4 a.m. in LA is one of his best songs. It's one of the best songs by Chxpo or Peep.
Yeah. It's a great contrast in the hook and the verses.
I fully agree. And I think Peep was good at sounding tough while not rapping about being tough. I think he did that quite well on that song. And you also get songs like the one with Blade is pretty good on Emo Savage 2. I love a good Blade feature. But on the whole, there's some like, it's like some of it wasn't mixed at all, or like deliberately mixed badly. That's what that, especially Emo Savage, the first one sounded like. But it kind of fit with like the MySpace art, and it's like I definitely couldn't hear that all the way through either. But I guess it's an interesting artifact of when he tried to do something different, because around then he was just doing like shred shit, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, Chxpo also has to go in the discussion of most online rappers. Like, he has his own Discord channel that he manages, and he just sits in there and streams video games all day.
Yeah, Icy. He plays with him sometimes, and those two have become quite close recently. I think they've been working on some music, so I always hear him cooking something up.
Icy and Chxpo is always a good link.
Definitely, yeah. I'm trying to think how many songs they dropped. I think it's just 2 songs so far. Yeah, they've been fire. So hopefully they'll definitely make some more. It's just really a case of Chxpo picking good beats, because I think a lot of the time he picks some shitty beats, and I think he has a lot of like kind of weaker projects as a result. Like a lot of the recent ones he's dropped have not been my cup of tea at all. That's a very English thing to say. But it's not been my cup of tea.
They're very just like. They're very like average. Like there's not a lot that's like wrong with them, but there's also like they're not doing a lot of things that like are anything special. It's just kind of like, all right, this is a Chxpo song, and it's like, all right, this is another Chxpo song. Pretty much.
It doesn't have that 9,000 Paths of Madness feel, or even like Lil Charizard is up there with my favorites. I really like that tape. I definitely think Elf went crazy on the production. I think Elf's a really underrated producer. I'd say anything Chxpo from like 2016 through 2017, you're probably gonna find something good. Yeah, for sure. Like the 215+1 tape is really good. The Tread tape. Yeah. The Tread tape. Oh yeah. I still feel like he sounds like the best over either those kind of beats or anything as dark as that So Icy track on the Purp EP. Why am I? The Blackland. The one with Cray. Yeah. That song goes hard. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, that's like the best Chxpo anything. Like that's like it's not even close to me. Like, is that like sound is so tailor made for him, and the way he comes on is like the hardest shit. I agree. He sounds really good on LeBron Chxpo James. That's all that sound, isn't it? Is that all Loko beats? I forget. Yes, it is. And that also has a Cray feature. So that song, that tape's probably my favorite actually. Yeah, he went bananas on that. Crazy. That one, and So Icy with No Jewelry, I think is all BMB producers. Oh, with Rushy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tight.
Or wait,
So-
no, I'm thinking of shit.
Oh wait, hang on. I know this.
The one with South Beach on it.
Hang on, I got the old reliable Discog page up. Was it? I actually don't know. Was it Lil I? No, it wasn't Lil Ice Attack. Or was
No, it was So Icy Deathrow, right?
So I see Deathrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That should have been easier. But yeah, it did. It did have all. It was Loko, Iron Pissed, Evil Haze, I think, that time, and Screwmain, of course. But yeah, it's a shame we didn't get any Chxpo and Krxxk. We still could, I guess, but I don't think we did we? No.
Not to my knowledge.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't get Chxpo and Krxxk, but
Say,
could still happen.
Krxxk, another great artist whose name I butchered in the RCB episode. So once again, just apologizing. Just keep X's away from me, and I'll just stop trying to pronounce these names.
No, I am equally bad with hieroglyphics, and I called Krxxk crack in a podcast once. So don't worry. I did the exact same thing. Who was I interviewing? It was either Egyptian or Stevie Durag. It was one of those, and I said, "Oh, I love your shit with crack," and they were like, "Huh? Who are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, is that not how you say it?" I'm terrible with hieroglyphics, honestly. I thought, the Hermes and Icy song. I think it's called Aliens. I thought it was Villains because I just can't read hieroglyphics at all. So yeah, I agree. Keep them away from me too. Keep them fully away from me.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the hieroglyphics and all the spelling and what have you, it's all part of the general aesthetic when it comes to, these guys and this whole scene in general. So
agreed.
It wouldn't be the same without it. So
nah, definitely not.
It's just probably some of the most like, hey, what are you listening to? And you just absolutely are not going to respond with what I'm actually listening to. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, totally. Especially with how, because early BMB is dark.
Yeah.
But it's not as weird as the shit we got later. Even when Hermes was joining and stuff like that, that shit was getting kind of weird. Like his Luna de Sangre tapes are a step further for dark trap for me. Like Luna de Sangre 2, some of the beats on there are absolutely nuts. And I think Seda does most of that, or at least 3 beats. And that tape for me, I think that might be the start of the second golden age. I think actually I would say, because that was very early 2019, and that had just so many good beats. So if anything, that was the new sound of BMB, and it had a 4J feature on too. I remember, and when you listen to that, he just sounds so different to how he does now. But yeah, that's such a good tape. That's probably a good entry point actually for anybody who's.
Yeah, I think that's a really good. The 4J song and UFO and Super Android, I think, is a track on there.
Yeah, Super Android 17. That beat is nuts. And also Purple on Me. I don't know the reference because I'm not American, but when he says Purple on Me like I play for the Vikings, that's a sports reference, right?
Yeah, it's a football team.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, actually, where I live, everybody's a fan of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. They have good colors. They haven't won anything in a while, but they have good colors.
Okay, right.
Yeah. It's like
they kind of have a reputation for being losers.
It's like cheering. It's like cheering for Arsenal, essentially.
Oh, okay, got you.
I'm trying to relate it. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. But
it's
I feel yeah.
Yeah. It's they're good sometimes, but then they fall short in the big games. Is that kind of thing?
You guys know way more about English footy or soccer than I know about any American sport. So I got to respect that, to be honest. That you guys at least know kind of what you're talking about.
Well, I've grown up.
Caleb does. I don't.
Guy, yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't strike me as a sports guy, to be fair. Or are you a sports guy? Are you both sports guys? Big into sports, or?
I mean, I'm like
not really.
I'm a pretty big sports guy because my it's not my job now, but I came up as a sports journalist. Like that's what I was doing throughout high school.
Oh wow, that's cool as fuck. That's really cool.
I used to write about music too, which I hope no one reads because I'm sure they're awful pieces now.
What sort of music did you write about? Sorry to get off topic. I'm just interested.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a lot about rap, primarily. Not mostly in college, a little bit in high school. I just graduated a few months ago.
Oh wow.
Mostly in college, I wrote about a lot of different rap. It wasn't like this kind of rap. It was more of just I don't know, whatever I was listening to a couple years ago.
You should send me some if you don't want to you should send me some. I'd actually quite like to read that because I mean I'm a writer, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I'll have to. I think the most recent thing I wrote was like an in memoriam, a little Pop Smoke piece. So I might, I might send you that. We'll talk.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, send me that too.
All right. Well, now I have to do it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. But yeah. Trying to think of. I think the first tape I heard was the. Well, I didn't hear the whole 2K18 BMB tape in full, initially, but I had heard a bunch of songs from it.
I'm gonna look at the track list for that.
Yeah, they're all different artists and different tracks, so I had heard some of the tracks. Yeah.
Now the thing about this is, and I will say this because the misconception that Kirblagoop was he was technically in BMB. Technically, he never actually said, I'm a member of BMB. There's no evidence of that anywhere. I think his inclusion was primarily to boost the plays, because I get Jxwish, right? Everyone loves Jxwish. That's probably the best Kirblagoop song ever. It's so good that 500 people have used the beat and never done anything better with it. That terrible 5G song over that beat. Can't remember what it's called, but it's awful. But it's, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It came out recently, but it's the exact same beat. Terrible vocals. Anyway.
I know I've heard at least 3 or 4 songs that use that beat.
Yeah. I've hosted one. That's how common it is. I've hosted a song with that beat. That's how common it is. But why put Star on there? Kirblagoop was not ever a permanent BMB member. So that to me is the first funny thing I think of when I see that. Spooky Lee was though. Yeah, for quite a long time.
Spooky Lee definitely fits in with the general aesthetic.
He just dropped that new EP, didn't he, with Krxxk? That's basically a continuation of the sound. So his stuff with Krxxk's really good. Yeah,
it's a great cover art too. That new one.
I do like that. I did like the evil clown on their other one as well. I think the cover arts are pretty cool.
A lot of these cover arts are pretty cool, or just the most deliberately abstract thing. There's no in between. It's how many satanic kind of images can we conjure up here?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I think this the giant BMB 2K18 tape is my favorite of the 4. I mean they're all great, but I think it's my favorite. I know the one with the BMW cover is really good too. I know that one's that one also has 40 songs.
God, this one's long as hell. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah. This one's dummy long. I'm trying to think if I've heard all these songs because I've never listened to these comps in this order. I've just heard the songs separately. God, there's a lot of different shit on here, isn't there? Slim Gorilla. Why is he on here? Slim Gorilla.
Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping you guys would.
Nah.
Would idea about that. I have no idea.
Unless it's produced. Oh, it's produced by Smokey Smoke, who was one of the least. I've never heard anyone mention him. He's a very under the radar producer, and I don't even know if he produces anymore. But he was in for a while. I mean, the thing is about the BMB members page, which I believe me and John are both, and maybe you as well. Not too sure. We've all contributed to that. There's been 12 incarnations of that, and the first version of it was so wrong. I'm not sure who submitted it, but man, it was wrong as hell. It needed serious correction. I was Ego Mackie. I don't really understand because I remember they put him in that BMB poster thing. There was a lineup poster. You guys probably remember that because that's what we based the correct lineup off. But Ego Maki was on there for some reason, and I don't understand who put him in the group, because as far as I've gathered, none of them guys liked him at all, and they were bitching about him constantly until they kicked him out. So yeah, weird. But yeah, like it was just so wrong, and I've and like even now I'm not too happy with it, because I'm kind of OCD about these things. But it's just a weird lineup, because you don't know when people joined. But I do know that people like Smokey Smoke and Freddie 3, another guy you don't ever hear about. Those guys have been in it for a long time, like probably since around 2016. But like I said, it's a totally different lineup when it ended than from when it started.
Right.
So yeah.
Well,
so
you can see all the recent like additions with like a lot of the guys that would go on to be in like Jxwish. Like,
yeah. Well, they still were, weren't they? I mean, that was basically Sellasouls. I can't remember when Sellasouls cropped up. It must have been like 2019. It was definitely 2019, because there's that massive comp. That's like the bootleg comp of all the singles and that. Yeah, most of which are gone now, so that's actually quite a useful artifact. But Sellasouls joined Jxwish quite like late into their existence. Like he wasn't there from the start at all. In fact, Sellasouls, fun fact, and I did have our interview up, but I opted to delete all the Jxwish interviews for reasons I said earlier. But the Sellasouls interview, he was telling me how he was more friends with Evil there originally, really. And he actually lives near quite a lot of the Hex Mafia guys. Not Hex Mafia, I'm not saying that right, am I? What is it? Hexxcult, that's it. Flexcult, Hexxcult, blah blah.
I think it's all the same shit.
I think it is all the same, yeah, but just in case anyone hears this and has a problem, because you wouldn't believe how many times that's happened. So yeah, Sellasouls like lives near all those guys and was like really cool with them, but then obviously the great schism happened. So yeah, pretty crazy. But Sellasouls is probably the weirdest artist in the whole group, honestly. Like
for sure,
in both groups, by far.
Yeah, I don't even really know how to talk about his music. It's just so out there.
Some of his stuff is like weirdly popular. Like I remember that one single that's I think is produced by Herme and Zero Suit got like quite a lot of, or it got like a higher average than I expected or something. But like his stuff is just weird enough so that people who like kind of outsidery music will get into it. But I suppose like his stuff is just so like the whispering, the usual like the Jxwish. I guess they're called like the stuttery rewind things.
Yeah.
I want to call them rewinds because that's what they're called in grime, but I don't know if that's what you'd call them in.
It's like sped up, chopped and screwed. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a weird style, but like so many people do it now. You know, you can say what people can say what they want about 4J, but you know, from a completely unbiased standpoint, he has influenced so many people, and he is totally right to be talking about people, you know, leeching off him and being on his dick because they are. But they bite him all day, every day, and that's true. That's true. That's a completely unbiased opinion. It's just definitely true. I've heard so much that sounds like him recently.
Yeah, and even with music that sounds a little more like just a touch more like accessible than like 4J's music. Like you can kind of hear it.
Definitely,
just like that influence.
Yeah, I think he has a point. Like, you know, when he says like he's influencing everybody, he's also he just turned like 18.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like for doing everything that he's done at such a young age is just like holy shit.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that everything started really with TK stealing his beat off YouTube,
right?
And now he's here,
which is a great. So that was a real 4J beat. So
yes,
okay.
Yeah,
I heard the story, and I actually asked you, John, about it, and I didn't know like how confirmed it was, or like what is it, like, you know, what kind of like did TK really like steal a 4J beat? Like what a weird timeline. Absolutely,
it's absolutely true. When I interviewed 4J the first time, which was on my blog, which is on 108mics.com, if you go back to, I mean, if you search 4J, there's a few articles, but our very first interview, which was before he dropped any of the tapes that are still up, like any of them, even Fuck Off, even that one wasn't up then. I think he only had like those what were those really early EPs called that were basically just chopped and screwed stuff. I don't know, but he had those.
It was like the
Life is lame, and
the boomerang.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the farthest back I've heard. I haven't heard Life is Lame.
I think anything else is just gone forever, to be quite honest. But he hadn't even dropped any of those. And I interviewed him because he asked me for one. This is the truth, so he can dispute this all he wants. But he asked me for an interview around the same time that a bunch of Underworld guys did, and in the interview, I said beforehand, I was like, I've noticed you produced for TK. Or maybe he mentioned it. I don't remember. One of us mentioned it. But either way, he said, can you not bring it up in the interview? Because he'd been interviewed before, apparently. And I don't know if this interview still exists. But he'd been interviewed before, and the only thing the guy asked him about was that. So I don't even know if he was that annoyed about it back then, but he just didn't want it to be like to define him as a producer, for example. But yeah, that beat was absolutely stolen, and I believe he said that they paid him in the end or something, but like not like what he should have been getting, and the fact that they just stole it off his YouTube, which happens so much. And this is why people don't put out beats for free, because they just get taken advantage of. So
that happens to Krxxk all the time, apparently.
Yeah, that's why he got rid of all this stuff. It happens to Gyptian all the time, but that's his fault for putting all his beats literally labeled. Like people put free YouTube beats up, and if you search for Gyptian's name, if you go down far enough, you find some absolute trash, like stuff that he would never even approve, and he doesn't even know has come out. But so yeah, people need to stop putting that. Don't put your beats up for free, guys, unless it has like purchase your tracks today or whatever. If it has those, then that's good.
Great. I need the purchase your tracks today tag going off in the background of every song.
Yeah.
So actually, I've somehow managed to find the first boomerang from.
Oh wow.
I have it. There's a guy on YouTube who had a couple of the tracks uploaded, and I reached out to him back in like March through email, and he sent the whole thing to me.
I bet that's such weird stuff to listen to back now, because a lot of the beats on Boomerang 1.5 were like plug beats and stuff. So I bet that's weird to listen back to now. But
yeah, there's some plug beats on there. It sounds very, very much different than what he sounds like now.
Because he's also in Jug2K as well. That's his other affiliation, the plug group. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jug2K.
No, not really.
Jug2K was founded by Draco Montana. And Private Joker. I believe it was those two. One of those guys definitely started it. But there's a bunch of like talented plug producers in there. Gyptian's in there. 4J's in there to this day, I believe. But yeah, it's like mainly a plug producer group. But you'll definitely have heard. There's the tag like it's Jug2K shit. You may have heard that. There's a lot of credits. Like if you search Jug2K on SoundCloud, there's like hella shit. But yeah, that's just a bit of extra knowledge for you there. Sorry, I'll stop ranting.
No, I think I got confused once because I saw that there's like a producer named Jug6K.
Yeah,
who does stuff with RCB sometimes.
Yes, no, it's a different guy, confusingly, but yeah. They've got. I just looked it up. They got Comethazine credits. There's Boss Up, Comethazine credits. Rushy, Marcy May, and Cartier God also have a Private Joker beat. So you see, this is what I mean. Like, it's all very confusing. And of course that Spaceghostpurrp song is on Jug2K's SoundCloud page. The Florida Top 3 Murder Catapult song. That's on their SoundCloud page if people want to go listen to that. And it's the shortened version without like the beat for 6 extra minutes with no rapping on it. So yeah, that's just a bit of history for anyone who didn't know. That's the other group that all those guys are in. Obviously, Draco Montana produces Gothchild. He produced a couple of RCB songs too. So yeah, it all ties back. But yeah,
his mixtape, which I think is one of like he only has like 2 or 3 mixtapes. He doesn't have that much work. But I believe it's like one of his first mixtapes. I listened to that like somewhat recently, and it was really good.
Are we talking about Draco? Sorry.
Yeah, talking about Draco. Yeah, my bad. It was. I'm looking at it right now.
He has a few EPs, but he doesn't have many long tapes.
No, it was the most recent one. It was the Halloween one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a very good one. It had the beats on that. I think he had like Stealth Mob. But do you have Stealth Mob Money on there? Yeah, he did. Bloodline. And of course, got a shout out to Jewish Reaper. I mean, come on, the Russians just do it better, don't they? Let's face it. The Russians are taking the dark trap to a new direction. I mean, you could literally talk about Russian dark trap for a whole episode of this. I reckon there's so much, like from the rappers like Whitener, producers like Snow Icy. What's his name? That's got the Carnus and Perp song. What's his name? It's a Haze. Thank you to myself. Yeah, all those guys. Like, there's so much. They literally they kind of took the torch and ran with it, to be honest. Especially the guys in Sugar Hills Gardens. Those guys go crazy. But you guys might not know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The Jewish Reaper, like, he's in that group. Bunch of other Russian producers.
Yeah, I saw that you've added a bunch of that stuff. I haven't really listened to it though.
Well, it's mostly those tapes are all just songs they've took off other people's SoundCloud. So it's like a vanity project, as in look who we've produced for, that kind of thing. And a lot of those songs are on my SoundCloud because Jewish Reaper had like no followers when I first followed him, and it was only because people like Krxxk were working with him, and who was rapping on his beats first? I think it was like Darth Roach, those guys. It took all that to get him the platform he has now. But Jewish Reaper, he's got to be one of the best producers going right now. Definitely. He's a really, really hard worker too. And a really nice bloke. Also got a shout out my interview with him. That's a very entertaining interview, that. So, yeah. Yeah,
I got to say, Russia is very important to this whole scene. I even signed up for an account on vk.com because they upload a lot of this shit.
Yeah, they're dedicated. They're really dedicated to they love BMB. Some of them, I think Snow Icy has a BMB tat. Like, I believe I saw that on his Instagram, which is insane. Like, the level of dedication they have. So you can't knock them at all for that.
No. I gotta listen to more music coming from Russia. Then I'm learning in this episode. So I'm looking at it right now. I'm seeing you've added a lot of this stuff. So I gotta.
Yeah, there's hella. I mean, like, I think Liz has rapped on a few Jewish Reaper beats. And of course, there's my guy Remy, who I got to shout out. Remy always. He needs like, he gets good plays, but he needs more love on, especially on like music sites that rate your music. His dark trap stuff is like next level. He raps on like, it's like an English rapper rapping on Bloodline Genesis beats is just next level. So
yeah, his stuff with Bloodline Genesis.
Yeah, he's got more coming. He's always working hard. Me and him have a podcast we're going to continue doing soon as well. But this isn't all about. I'm not going to promote myself this much. Anyway, yeah. There's a lot of, but basically, in summary, there's a lot of good stuff out of Russia. And yeah, definitely check out Jewish Reaper, especially. Very hard worker, and he has the credits to prove it. So.
For sure. I got to do that now. There's a lot of things I have to do as a result of this episode. So, looking forward to that. I guess I was gonna ask you, John. Like, so do you have like a favorite of the BMB tapes before we move into like, the Jxwish stuff?
I think I got into them, or the first one I heard was Deathrow 2K18. And that's probably still my favorite one.
Yeah. That one's like so dark and evil and like menacing. Like, it's just, I mean, I guess it's not that different from their other stuff, but it's like, I think it has some of the like best songs of that like whole era on it. So
yeah, even though like Chris said, like stuff like Kirblagoop Star is on there, which doesn't fit at all.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's still pretty cohesive.
It is. You got some good Margin Bloody tracks on there, like Jxwish Margin Bloody, which we'll actually get into that in a minute, because he's had a massive career transformation as a result of 4J. But yeah, mostly very. I'd say this is the best too, honestly. Like, some great Spooky Lee songs on here. Moving Weight's a great Perp song as the closer. And also shout out Baby Gucci, man. Baby Gucci just has a huge fan base, but like, again, like, it's like people just don't talk about him enough, like, and his versatility. So shout out to Baby Gucci, and he has a very similar name to a lot of other rappers, but I think he stands out. And I think that Crank, is it Crank? Krunk? I don't know. That song on there is a great one, but yeah. No, I'd say that's the best one too. The 2K18, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've mixed up Baby Gucci with like Big Baby Gucci and.
Same.
Yeah.
Don't worry, same. I'm Big Baby Scumbag.
I've done that just on looking for their stuff on YouTube like all the time.
It's easy to do, very easy to do.
Yeah, very easy. Also, Baby Goyard, completely different artist, very very different artist. But
yeah, Baby Goyard. Yeah. He had a lot of stuff with Margin Bloody back in the day. I think they're still cool. They were in a group together. I forget the name though, but yeah, a lot of babies out there, a lot of babies.
A lot of babies.
I was gonna say like a lot of rappers in this scene. It's kind of reminiscent of like '90s Memphis rap and how like generic and run together some of the names can get.
Agreed. I think some people don't choose their names well enough.
Well, we don't have like a generic like DJ Paul kind of like name. We don't have unless we do, and I'm trying to think of like something.
I'm trying to think too. Yeah. I'm sure something will come to me.
Who is the Crunchy Black of the BMB Jewelxxet camp?
Okay. Are we talking overall throughout the entire time that they've existed?
Yeah, sure. Like one guy that's like just not good, but he's like
Lil Rari. Lil Rari. Lil Rari. Yeah, he's been a bit of a knobhead to me as well, so I might be slightly biased, but yeah, he's shit him.
Yeah,
I can't remember what he sounds like at all. So
no,
fault.
Nah, he has a couple tracks with Lizzo here and there, but yeah, he tried me on the timeline once, and ever since then I've not been cool with him at all. So yeah, he also he fell out with Perk really bad towards the end too as well, I believe. So
I feel like falling out with Perk is a thing that all of us have to go through at some point.
Probably, yeah. The only people who actually didn't, I guess, would be like Loko and like maybe like that might be it. And I guess Lizzo too. But yeah, I think basically the reason the group joined is because everyone was just the group ended is because basically everybody was just leaving one by one. I think that was probably his the indication that he should just end it while it was end it while he was ahead. You know.
Right.
Yeah, BMB is interesting in that, it's like you attach it with Spaceghostpurrp, but he was mostly hands off the entire time.
Yeah, almost totally hands off. Aside from dipping into rap on the odd beat here and there, but he rapped on like a handful of Seda beats, a few Krxxk beats, towards the end. But that really was it. I'm totally right.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think the BMB like era is interesting to look back on as someone who's coming to it like removed from the context of like when they were picking up steam, just because like I came and like I started listening to their stuff and then they disbanded, so it didn't really. I wasn't there for like the prime of it, but it's definitely like really cool to go back and listen to and like hear all of these like crazy tracks. I think the Curb thing is funny, like you said. Just like him being on, because he's so unique just in general, but then like paired against all those other guys, like he just sounds so different.
He does.
It's like it's even more jarring than like someone like Chxpo, because at least Chxpo fits the general like aesthetic. Curb is just like this super. It's just like a red herring, like in the.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way, because Curb's really good, but like just the like that. Voice, it makes no sense like within the
I fully agree. His performance on Jawlock, insane. Yeah,
he's a singular entity for sure.
Yeah.
He has more energy on Jawlock than on like most of the rest of the tape, in my opinion. Like he went crazy on that song. So like he really like it peaks early with like the Chxpo track, the Spooky Lee BMB track. Curb, My Hand by Perp, Switchblade by Lizzo, which is very underrated. And then it kind of dips in the middle with like that Taco Bell song, Star, which I'm still not a huge fan of. But then it picks up again towards the end with the Baby Gucci track, and then North Pole, which is Curb and Chxpo. I think that was on one of Curb's tapes too. It's a good tape overall. And you know, in the sense that, do they have a crunchy black? Like I said, like there was a lot of members who were barely even active. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, when they did pop up, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? But of like the principal rappers, I stand by what I said. Yeah.
I don't really see myself listening to a full Taco L mixtape again.
Nah, he's an interesting character, that guy. But yes, there's yes, he was selling counterfeit BMB merch for a while as well. That's an interesting.
Yeah, apparently Perp got pissed off about that and was like,
which is understandable.
Tweeting about don't buy it.
Understandable, really. I mean, like, Perp and Chxpo were the instigators behind forming the group. So if someone is going to sell stuff without their consent, I can totally get it. I can totally understand why he'd be upset. But what with Taco L, Founding Underworld, and all that, it was all very it's all very kind of fractured and splintered. But I guess it always was, like I said. So yeah, mm-hmm. lot to digest and a lot of history to look into the context of as to why certain people didn't like each other and all this. But yeah, you could go on for days about this stuff. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
I was also thinking that, like, yeah, Loko Los seems like the only person that nobody ever had a problem with.
Loko Los, well, that you reminded me of that tweet where Loko Los was saying Evil Haze played with Halo action figures. That shit made me cry laughing, because the first time I saw that, I linked it into one of my lists, and then the tweet was gone. I was like, fuck, that's gone forever. No one's ever going to know what I'm talking about. And then when you posted that, I was like, thank God, because I totally forgotten how funny that was. But yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. That Loko's
I think that was Screwmain Flame, actually.
Was it Screwmain Flame? I thought it was Evil Haze.
No, it was Screwmain Flame tweeting about Evil Haze because they linked up in Texas one time.
That's the one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Yeah, Screwmain Flame said that and then just dipped from the internet. You got literally. I don't know where the hell he went, but yeah. Shame too. He was one of the best producers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I've spent more time in quarantine, like looking up old Screwmain Flame tapes and adding them to the database.
Did I ever send you?
Yeah, every Screwmain Flame tape has like 2 ratings, and you're one of them. Like every time. I know because I've looked at them.
Yeah, that's my chill anime lo-fi beats to study too.
I can't remember whether I ever tried to find that Stevie Durag collab tape for you. I said I would, but I don't remember if I ever DM'd him about it. That one was up for a while, but I think he said he was. I think Stevie said that like Screaming Flame washed him so bad or something like that. Like he fucked up his melodies or something. But I can probably still find it. To be fair, I'll find out, because that actually was pretty enjoyable. Stevie's got stuff with all the main BMB producers, and that was some good stuff. But yeah, there's so many tapes you've added. Holy shit!
Yeah, if that's still findable, I would definitely want to hear it.
I'll give him a DM today, and I'll also ask Killer Goon, who I'm glad you were listening to as well, because I think he's pretty.
All right, sick. So who is that? Because I listened to it off the strength of seeing it, you guys, and I was just like, this is pretty cool. Also, I couldn't find all the tracks, but also, who is this guy?
So Killer Goon, I don't even know myself. He popped up out of nowhere, was following me. Cool guy. I've had a few chats with him. But he's quite cool mainly with Lizard and Zero Suit, I think. And also bloody what's his name? He deserves all the praise for his, like, not only for his production but his rapping too. Crazy 2020 so far. But I think Killer Goon, I'm actually planning to interview him. I haven't been doing many interviews recently, but I do have a Killer Goon interview planned. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and hopefully we will discover some more about him, because honestly, he's a bit of a mystery to me too. But that Southern Soldier EP has a couple tracks missing. I think one of those was War Dance with Scott Free. That was a good song, so I'm not really sure why that one's gone. Maybe he just didn't like it. But I'll definitely try and find all that stuff. But yeah, it's just
I heard the first track. I heard Vamp Fest. I heard Bloodbath. And I think the other 2 I didn't hear.
Yeah, I think there was one with Zero Suit missing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what like. Clearly, it's not like a falling out thing. So I guess that's the danger of SoundCloud. They're like, if you delete that, that's gone forever. Unless people are like saving these as they go. But that means you pretty much got to save the song immediately when it comes out, and there's no telling when it'll be deleted. So it's kind of like a weird thing, isn't it? Like,
right, that's what I'm conditioning.
That's what I
do now.
Yeah, I actually am starting to archive stuff. Like, I have a big folder just full of shit ton of low quality SoundCloud files.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's so much to look through. And yeah, it's like 4J stuff goes at the drop of a hat. You can't guarantee when anything will go. It could be just random, like really, really random. So yeah, it's good that you're saving that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever, like, I guess I'm doing it just if I notice something recently has disappeared, then I'll upload it. But it hasn't really happened a lot since I've started saving stuff.
No. Well, it depends on the artist. Like some people are just serial deleters. Like Lizard is a serial deleter. He'll have songs up for like 2 hours and then delete them. Like legit. Like sometimes I'll literally be like, oh, I got to listen to that new Lizard song, and when I go home, it's gone. That is seriously sporadic deletion. Yeah. I was struggling there, but I got it. And to think I'm an English graduate, bloody hell. But anyway, yeah.
So I guess getting into like the individual like Jxwish members and their work, like, do you guys think that, I mean, I know I do, but I don't know what you guys like. You guys think 4J has like been the most consistently like good member? Because the amount of work he has is a lot more than most of them. Yes.
I'd say so, because I mean the first tape I heard, what I was like, damn, 4J really stepped it up, is West Caris Radio.
Yeah.
90% of which is gone now, because that had collabs with almost everybody that he now doesn't like Broly, Roach, Pablo, Bloody Bay, now called something ridiculous. I'm not going to call him his new name either. All those guys. So most of that's gone, like totally gone. But that one followed by Lieber axxtural. Obviously now he's called axxtural. That one was crazy with the Diamonds on My Dick diss as the last song.
Yeah.
And then after that he just was dropping a tape every bloody 2 weeks. So yeah, you know what? I would say he's the most consistent purely because of the content, but I don't think you can overlook Slur's discography either, though. I think Slur has a great discography.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, Sellasouls too. I guess more singles. But Sellasouls' discog is really good at. I mean, there's more songs than actual projects. But I also I have the bootleg. I haven't listened to it yet. That like Sellasouls bootleg.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it's like, the MP3 something. I forget what it's called.
Singles 2K19.mp3.
Yeah. Because I got recommended that by Kid and Puke to listen to, so I'm gonna listen.
There's
to
a lot of good stuff. I think that is a good example of Sellasouls' best stuff, because obviously that dark based Rituals tape is good, but his sort of like random releases feel a bit more authentically gritty and stuff, you know. So I definitely think what's the craziest Sellasouls song? Live from the Clock Tower is a great example. That song is insane. Or Live at the Clock Tower even, yeah. So yeah, I think Sellasouls probably got the best singles, but 4J has the best projects. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4J's like mixtapes. They're just all like, I can't think of one that's like bad or even close to bad. Like even the ones that I'm not like huge on, like they're still solid mixtapes. Like the ones I don't listen to that much, they're still like solid mixtapes. And then like at his best, like he's just so good.
He is. Yeah. I think his sex symbol tape was the one that really put him on the map on radio music and music websites and stuff. People really started paying attention. But again, like there's songs on there that are gone too. So it just doesn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't stop. The deletion doesn't stop. But when that was at its full thing, and you had tracks like Show It, She Wanna,
Yeah.
which was kind of like the definitive BMB anthem at the time. Those songs went crazy hard. That might be his best one, I think. Yeah.
I think that's still my favorite of his. It's like it's become like an obvious pick because it's like a lot of people's favorite, but there's a reason for that sometimes.
No, agreed. And I think that's where he became most happy with his music too, from what I can tell, because everything after that has gone on like streaming, like XXingleXX Unleashed and Vamp Mania. Those projects are all on like Spotify and stuff. So I don't think stuff from them will be deleted because now he has that more of a closer circle of people. As opposed to like branching out and working with other groups and stuff. But he has been working with the EvilPlug guys as well. I don't know if you know who they are or have peeped them at all.
Yeah, I have like an idea, but I haven't listened to like a lot of their stuff. Just because like, lots to listen to. Oh yeah. On a daily. But for sure, like if there's something that like you'd recommend, I'm definitely.
I'd say, yeah, for EvilPlug, which a bit of history here, was formed by, I believe, Acid Soldier, Chris Too Easy, and CP, who was their producer. They've been going since, definitely last year. I've heard
Chris Too Easy.
Yeah, Chris Too Easy drops a lot, and he hit a song with 4J recently, so that might have been why you heard it. Perhaps. I
heard that. I went through his mixtapes. I heard Bloodlust. I heard the Evil Star one, and I heard the EvilPlug Files, which is now gone, but that was a good EP.
That was a good EP. That had some good production. Thuck production. Krxxk. Yeah, that had some good stuff.
Well, it's off SoundCloud, but I use Spotify, and it's still on Spotify because I have it saved.
I've noticed people will delete things on SoundCloud but leave them on streaming. And I don't know whether it's because like streaming is more profitable, because I think we'll agree it is on the whole. Yeah. Than the pennies that SoundCloud gives you. So maybe that's why. Like I think maybe he doesn't have premium, and obviously you can only post a certain amount. That would be my guess as to why he would delete stuff, because it's not like he clads the people he doesn't like. He's not like that as far as I can tell. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but no, I agree that EvilPlug Files was a good tape. His first tape that he ever did was just called EvilPlug with Phony Wallace. Phony Wallace is a great producer.
Right.
You may be familiar with him. He's done some stuff for Curb recently, as well. Great producer. I got to do an interview with him too. That's another guy I got to hop on with. But the first Chris Too Easy tape's gone to like it's a lot of stuff you got to like kind of be there for almost. It's like if you weren't there when it came out, it's like kind of gone. And this like even for me, like it's the same with Acid Soldier. He's deleted most of his stuff. He's I believe he's even younger than Chris. Like they're both pretty young, probably like 18, 19, I want to say. I know they're still in school, so I can't think of the ages. Like secondary school. Sorry, high school for you guys.
Right, high school States, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think what year you guys would leave school. Would that be like?
I would leave. I left when I was 18. Most people leave when they're like 18.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I reckon they're around that age. They don't live in the same state, but those guys are basically running parallel to Jxwish in the sense that they don't really make similar stuff at all, because they don't make dark stuff particularly, but they all seem to be pretty cool these days. So that's cool. It may end in tears as it always does with Jxwish, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I definitely recommend. I'm trying to think of the stuff that Acid Soldier still has up, because he's been doing stuff with Kinanza as well recently.
Well, he has the Planet Soldier tape is still up. I'm looking at it.
Is that still up? Yeah, that's definitely worth a listen. Oh wait, no, that's only got 2 songs left. That was like a long.
That's only got 2 songs left. Never mind. Yeah. I saw the cover and one of the songs is up, and I'm like, oh, maybe this will be up.
No, I remember when that dropped. That was an 8-track tape, and I had a track with Chris on too. Oh no, that one's still there. But yeah, I would say, well, you know that playlist that says New Acid Soldier. I'd give that a listen, because that has, if you can see, that has the Chris Too Easy track off that one tape. It has a song produced by Mr. Cheezel. Shout out Mr. Cheezel, great producer also. And it's got one on my SoundCloud as well, if you can see. It's like a plug song, Bass Boy Palace. So I'd just give those a listen, and if you like those, I'd just stay tuned for new drops, because they also have a collective tape too. It's like on their EvilPlug SoundCloud, Life of a So Evil Boy. Let me check. I'll see if that's still up. It might not be, because you never know, do you? No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. It's gone. So, but again, actually, that might be on SoundCloud. Sorry, on Spotify. So, I would say to you and to anyone listening, definitely give EvilPlug a shot. They're all great rappers, and the beats are most like on the plug side now. But CP, who is, I believe, 16 years old or something like that, ridiculous talent for that age. I would definitely give those guys a shot if you like your underground production, and your underground music sound very gritty. So yeah, definitely give those guys a shot.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to give those guys a shot. I will file these recommendations away, because the great thing about a lot of these projects also is they're so short, so you can run through them pretty quickly, which is nice.
Yeah.
So that's like on kind of my take on that. But I think I agree with you on the whole like 4J discussion. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I mean, I know you have like obviously personal stuff, but like his run this year, like I think Vamp Mania is definitely like his best project this year.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think that almost had like, I think he was incorporating the trancey stuff. Well, not trance, but his trance. What does he call it? You know what I mean? Those like hymn songs. Those like really long things. Yeah, I feel like he was incorporating that into his normal music on Vamp Mania. That's what it sounded like, kind of like a blend of those things. Yeah. So that one, no, I agree. That one had great features too. Margin Bloody had a good feature on that. Yeah, no, I agree. Vamp Mania. We'll probably get at least one more from him before the end of the year, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Vamp Mania definitely like one that really, I think the song with Sellasouls, Enemies, that's definitely one of my favorite songs from either of the two.
Yeah.
That one's like super. Once again, like we talked about, it's like it's the like sped up, chopped and screwed sort of like effects, or the rewind or whatever you want to call it. But the way that like they both go back and forth on that is really cool.
Yeah, no, they have great chemistry. I think that's why they don't actually have that many collabs when you think about it, like in terms of Jay and Sella. But Sella is definitely one of the craziest sounding voices. But of course, those guys all, and I mean, believe what you want. Those guys believe that they're summoning demons when they rap and all that shit. So I mean, it makes sense as to why they sound so off their nut. I'm going to be respectful there and say it's open to interpretation, but I will say that they do sound great when they rap. So you can't really criticize. Whatever's making them sound like that. But Seller in particular is sounding like, he literally told me he was like possessed in the interview. So make of that what you will.
He definitely sounded possessed. I'll give him that, because that's a crazy song.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard to, like I said, I think John said this a little earlier, like it's hard to describe the music sometimes, just because of how genuinely like out there it is, like to a neutral observer who hasn't heard it, like pitching someone on this music is an interesting sell. It's like, how do I describe it, because it's unlike pretty much most things I've heard, like in any genre. It's pretty interesting, pretty great stuff.
I agree.
I think like once you really fall down the rabbit hole, like it can become like all you listen to for like a while.
It is. It's very, it's more-ish stuff, and I think that's why a lot of people, that they basically, beef Hexxcult specifically, and all them, because they say they bite their swag and they don't really summon. Because I didn't know if you knew why they fell out. The reason is, this is literally facts, that they fell out with them because they didn't actually want to summon demons when they like in their spare time. That's why. They weren't taking that Hex life seriously. It's true.
No, I believe you 100%. I did not know this, but you're
that's
like,
why.
Yeah.
That's why, like,
encyclopedic knowledge, you know. So,
I mean, it's just people tell me things. I remember.
Yeah.
Rodeo Glow, who I'm sure you know.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to be a Jxwish member. He used to have Jxwish in his bio, and then bam, all of a sudden they massively fall out. All because I guess Glow doesn't want to like draw pentagrams on the floor. I mean, I guess you can respect that all you want, and it's a shame too because like the amount of great songs that were up, like there was an Evil Air and Slur song that's lost. I think it was called Fuck Hose or something. That was a great song. All the Crone and 4J stuff's gone.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple songs there. Obviously, Crone is like does his own thing that's totally different but equally as mad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why. Like that's why they all fell out, and that's why you won't find anyone even remotely related to Hexxcult or any of the surrounding groups like Darth Mob, Southern Goth Mob. You know, on the whole, because Zero Suit is actually a member of both groups. Funnily enough, but on the whole, like a lot of people don't fuck with Jxwish, and I mean it's not hard to see why because of their attitudes and the way they treat people. But on the other hand, they are very influential. And it's easy to see why they would think someone's biting them. And I see literal wars in SoundCloud comments on like a daily basis. Like people commenting like, "Sounds like shit." You guys wish you were Jxwish. Sounds like shit. It's insane, honestly. It's like next level. But there is a lot to explore, and I think there's a lot of stuff that sounds like Jxwish. That's just as good, really, in a way. But I get why they're so adamant, 4Js especially, that they invented it. You know, there's their swag, basically. You know, you can respect it, but it's kind of a youth thing too, I think. Like, you know, they're all young.
Really young. You know, like, it's not often that, like, I mean, I guess I'm getting to that point more and more, but, like, that I'm older than, like, rappers. But
yeah,
it's starting to get to that point, like, oh, yeah, I'm older than, like, these rappers. Like,
how old are you?
I'm 22.
I'm 24 this year, so.
Oh, okay. Well, nice.
Yeah, it's often that I see someone say, "Oh, I'm 16. I'm a 16-year-old producer." Insane to me. Yeah. Like I can't fathom it. I couldn't have done anything even remotely that creative when I was 16. Not even close.
I had no idea what I was doing when I was 16. I had no idea. But yeah, I think when it comes to like the Flexcult stuff, which is like an adjacent thing to there's definitely like a lot of good stuff there. I still have to listen to some of their stuff. Like I heard some like Lil Trash, but I need to hear like the beat tape he did this year. Well, what's the other one? Like
Lil Trash has multiple tapes on my SoundCloud. There's 3 on my SoundCloud.
3 on your SoundCloud? Well, I'm just gonna I'll be sure to look at those for
4. Sorry, 4. All the ones that are at the top on the Rate Your Music page. There was a Fire in the Church, Trash Tape Volume 1, Sutter Home, and the first one above all. He dropped the sequel to that this year. Those are all on my SoundCloud, and they all have like the OG Southern Goth Mob tags. And actually, we kind of worked together on There Was a Fire in the Church because he didn't have any song titles. But we kind of like came up with the concepts. Well, he had a cover of like a burning church, and then he was like, let's pick some cool sounding names. And we kind of just came up with them together and came up with like a cohesive track list. One of the first people to ever ask me to host his music, really. So shout out to Trash. He's very talented, and I wish he would rap more because I don't know if you've heard any of his rapping stuff or.
No, I haven't heard much of his stuff. I'm going through all the members right now, and what I have heard, like, that like Bloody Bay and Charles Globe tape, the Silent Hill tape, I've heard.
That was great. That was great. Yeah.
That was really good. Love the cover art too. I've heard like a lot of Bloody Bay projects, which he's now a different alias, but I've heard projects under that alias too.
Yeah.
I have not heard. Who else is there?
Are you looking at the page I made?
Yeah, I'm looking at the page I'm looking at right now. It's
Yeah. That's not comprehensive.
No, it's not.
That's just who was on that tape that I put on there. But I believe that's almost everybody. It's honestly a lot.
I haven't heard the the Charles Globe with was it Big? Well, you gotta help me with the pronunciation here. There's an X. I'm gonna stay away from the X's here.
Hang on. Charles Globe and Owen Broly.
Broly, right? Thank you.
Is it Broly? Yeah. They've got more. I believe they've got more actually. That might need adding, but yeah, Charles Globe. I don't know if you know much about him. And his early days.
I just heard the one tape with Bloody Bay.
He his early beats were he had a lot of early beats like on Diamonds on My Dick songs.
Oh really?
Diamonds on My Dick using a lot of his beats like very early on. Yeah, if you go to Diamonds on My Dick singles page, like the first 3 or 4 are all Charles Globe beats, including a Krxxk collab.
I think I definitely know the Krxxk collab.
4.
I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't think I looked at like who produced those early singles because I think I've heard almost all of those like DMD singles, like from like
there's a lot.
2016 or 17.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to dig through, but Charles Globe was doing that, but obviously we know what Diamonds on My Dick is like. He doesn't credit producers. He doesn't give them the money. So he basically ended up producing for people that he's actually more cool with, and hence you get the stuff with Bloody Bay. He actually has a tape with his beats and multiple rappers on. It's called Globe Gang. That's worth a listen. It's got Hermes, Suave Iguala, 2 of the Five Finger Posse guys, Morgan Alvin. Would definitely recommend to dig through Charles Globe's stuff. He has a lot of great beats, a lot of great production. And also I interviewed him too. You can catch that one on my SoundCloud also. There's a lot of history on there. But Flexcult's lineup. There's a lot of cool members. You know, Solfinito's not too active these days at all. I heard he was having a kid actually, so that might explain it. There's people like Bloodyface Rich, who's a fairly new member. And obviously people like Lil Thrax who formed the group, if you didn't know. Lil Thrax, it was originally his idea. And it was originally just him and his mates, I think, like just him and a few other people who didn't even rap. It was more of a group of people than an actual record label or like a collective. But it really grew, as you can see, and you got some real talents in there, like Crone, Evil there, Rodeo Glow. Yeah, there's a bunch of great artists.
Rodeo Glow is really great. Crone's really great. Although the recent Rodeo Glow project was not good.
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree. I think he peaked with what was the name of that song?
The one with the mixtape with him with the pointing the gun at the cover. Gosh.
Where I be get money music. I can't.
Yeah. That's a great.
Whoever did the formatting on that needs to go to jail because people have to do better. But yeah, no, I agree. Rodeo Glow's it's kind of peaked there with that and the Flexcult Dope Runner tape where he had a lot of perp sounding stuff as well. Yeah,
that was a super good tape. That was like that's like the darkest shit he's been over, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. And of course he has the Diamonds on My Dick disc too. Don't Come to VA.
Yeah, which I didn't. So that was like one of the first DMD discs I heard. I think.
That was one of the first, I believe.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like everybody hates this guy. Like,
it was because fun fact. I don't know if you heard this Diamonds on My Dick song. It was called Bricks in the Rain. He stole that exact beat that he raps on for that song. And made a song out of it. So in retaliation, he also rapped on his own beat and made Don't Come to VA. And I mean, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it was a shared hatred of Diamonds on My Dick that brought all these people together in the first place. Like Flexcult, Jxwish, Charles Globe, like, all these people hate his guts. And they still all do, for good reason, because he's a cunt. But I believe that was kind of the reason why. Because he's a bad guy, Diamonds on My Dick. As I say many times on my own podcast, he's not a good guy. He's a morally dubious guy. And there's a lot of good disses out there, honestly. Like 4J's diss is awesome. He actually took it down for a while, but I'm glad it's back up. Because he was snapping on that.
Yeah, DMD. So with DMD, were there not like some sus allegations against him? Like not about the scamming stuff, but like okay.
No. Yeah, there was,
Yeah.
and High C too. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff I'm not sure.
I thought the High C stuff was fake. I don't know if it's true or not. I thought the High C stuff was not true. Oh, okay.
All I know is High C is a weird guy who retweets bestiality porn.
Yeah, I follow his Twitter. It's a wild time.
Yeah, I had to. It's like following Ruben Slick. You just can't do it. It's just not. It's just not feasible. Or Lil B, dare I say, because that guy's equally creepy. But that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, High C. I don't know about High C, but I heard that who was it? One of those guys was dating someone who was underage, and then all this and that. I don't know whether any of it's actually true because you do because remember a lot of these people just don't like these guys, so they would say anything to discredit them. So it's not really a surprise. Like I don't know what's true and what's not, basically. So I don't want to throw anything out there, but I will say that they do both have both High C and Diamonds on My Dick some allegations against them, and it doesn't surprise me too much because I've heard literally everybody who's ever made a song with or met Diamonds on My Dick has something bad to say about him. He definitely isn't a good guy. So yeah, questionable stuff, definitely.
I mean, just going through like and just being like, gosh, this guy with the alias Diamonds on My Dick seems like a great.
He has me blocked on Twitter actually for calling him out on stealing someone's beat. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I guess that's the way to get blocked. Yeah,
it is. It absolutely is. People hate to hear the truth, don't they? But yeah.
Well, for those still listening, we unfortunately have lost John. We lost Lucas.
Yeah.
Very sad. Very sad. But he he got through about half the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so that's unfortunate. But it was good to have him on, and we'll definitely we plan on having him on again for a Space Ghost episode and for some other like underground dark trap stuff. So that was just because he hasn't talked in about like 20 minutes. So
we thought we'd explain why.
Yeah. We thought we'd explain why. So he had to go suddenly. So totally understand. But yeah, I'm just looking through a lot of this stuff right now. There is like so much material to like talk about. Like you said, you could spend. I've added like I have 10 tabs open of things I have to listen to after this episode. So can't wait. It's going to be an evening of dark trap, which I guess is the best way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, there's actually a fair amount of stuff on my SoundCloud that's worth listening to as a entry point. I did have my Barbarism Begins at Home tape up. If anyone is wondering where that went, it's because, half the people on there are cunts, so I thought, why keep it up? But basically, most of that stuff is actually on streaming. If you're interested, almost all of the vocal tracks are. So for anyone who wants to check out any of the songs on there, because that had songs by Lil Deceased, as well as gotta give a shout out to Deceased always, as well as Rapso and Tethro from R1, Acid Soldier, of course, Gecko Bros, who were a great duo who make like really intense, like I think someone called it militant trap in a review or something like that, and that was a great description. Like if anyone wants that whole tape, just DM me on Twitter because I got the whole thing in my email. I just didn't want to have it up anymore, taking up space with people who don't even like me. Like, what's the point? Know what I mean?
No, I got you. Because I went to listen to it and it was taken down, and I was like,
I'll send it to you now, mate. Just send us your email after this, and it's not in order, but I'm sure you can listen to it in order from the from the files. But yeah. Most of it's on streaming, anyway.
So on streaming, is it just under like the artists that are?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of stuff on streaming. I've got a Lil Deceased compilation on streaming, which I would highly recommend you listen to, because he has a great discography.
I've heard some of his stuff. I heard the Trench Proverbs EP. I heard the Trench Music record, and I heard
Trench Music 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard the Gunslinger mixtapes.
Those are great. Those are great. Yeah.
Those are good mixtapes. Side B was really good.
Yeah, the Zero site. Yeah, that's That's definitely the superior side. But yeah, if you want to check out 108 Deceased Volume 1, that's 108 Mics on streaming. You can hear a bunch of songs, including there's a few tracks, few collabs with Zero Suit on there. There's one with Johnny, one with Roach, one with Icy, and long lost, because he's not really on Twitter anymore, Southern Gothmon member Sinister Skylar, if anyone remembers him. He was kicking around for a while, but he seems like he's doing well in his spare time. Does that track Martian. Basically, all those songs are on my SoundCloud, but I put them all on streaming as an album to make them easier to listen to. So 108 Deceased Volume 1, that's got Chills on it from that tape, and then you can find the rest, I believe, under the album, what's it called? It's called Brutalism, Hell is Concrete. Yeah, because it was from the Brutalism series, which came to an end after 6 installments. Yeah, so definitely go check those out. But as I said, if anyone wants the whole thing, I'll just send it to you, because it's sitting in my hard drive right now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I've added everything from like the just everything that you've been saying, all the brutalism stuff, like the 108 Deceased, all that. So
good stuff, mate.
Yeah, of course. I mean, really, like just looking at all of your stuff, like, is so essential to just like to point you in a direction to listen to, because there's so many different directions, and I've heard a lot of this stuff, and there's still a bunch of stuff I have to listen to. Like,
it's endless.
It's so much, and so much of it comes out, and then there'll be times when I just see like, oh man, I haven't listened to like the last like 6 4J singles or whatever, because they all just come out like 3 of them in a week or something. You know?
Yep. Yeah. It is nigh impossible to listen to everything. When I first started 108 Mics as an underground platform, because it wasn't originally, that's key to know. I was just reviewing anything. When it transitioned to becoming a mainly underground platform with interviews and song hosting, those songs and artists and stuff that I was putting out to start with, it was like quite a small group, but it grew so much, and it just became impossible to keep with everyone's discography. So now I only follow like 300 odd people, and it's still impossible to hear everything. So yeah, it really is a case of like just trying to stay as on top as you can, and honestly, it's a miracle Radio Music exists, because how else would we chronicle all this stuff?
Seriously.
It would most of it would be lost if it wasn't for Radio Music,
right?
So.
Especially with all the songs getting taken down and stuff, like just lost to the internet time, like the ether of the black hole of like MP3 files that are no longer there.
Exactly. Yeah. It would be a disaster. It would be a catastrophe. So it's a good job that we can add as much stuff as we want on there, and as John was saying before, try and save some of it for future listeners. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like some of my favorite stuff that I've heard, I mean, you kind of mentioned Slur earlier, like that the Slur stuff of 4J is pretty good, and also the mixtape, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this, but it's like the
go on, have a go.
I know, was it like a Son of Filth or something? Son of something. I'm butchering it because it's the X's. It's the X's in the front. It's the one that it's the one with a bunch of it's the one where it has
is it Son of Lilith?
Yeah, Son of Lilith. There you go. Because it's the one with the Son for Lilith on it. Yeah.
Yep. Son of Lilith. I think all that's still there. Maybe a couple songs are gone. I think a couple songs are gone, but mostly. Yeah. Actually, I think he might have cleared most of his stuff off. Actually, last time I checked, not a lot was there. But yeah, Son of Lilith. Son of Lilith was a good tape. I like Ruby Tears and Coke.
There is a YouTube, or at least there is a YouTube link that has the original tape on it. Yeah, it's there's still the full tape on.
Oh, good.
YouTube,
okay. Yeah.
It's
I think my favorite. Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say, it's included. Shout out to RYM user Aerostar, because he included it in the comment box for the page. So yeah, it's up there on YouTube.
Yeah, his best tape was the one with Zero Suit that was all produced by Zero Suit. I don't know what you want from me. I think all that is gone now. But I remember when that dropped.
That's a great tape. That has like a small bit of notoriety on like RYM, like a little bit.
It's got the most ratings of any of his tapes. Yeah,
like I mean, 73 ratings is still like nothing, but it's for this scene, it's like a lot of ratings.
Yeah, some of those songs are really abstract and weird. There was a lot of weird stuff on there, but that was a very exciting tape when it came out. I remember that was kind of like a turning point, especially for Zero Suits, who'd mostly been like producing one-off songs. For like Kirblagoop, Trip Jones, that kind of thing. He transitioned to becoming like a producer for a handful of artists. You know, he was like almost like an executive producer. And he did that multiple times, but that was kind of like the first one that I remember he told me this. He was like most happy with that. He was very happy with how that project came out, and a couple others as well, because, you know, that was before he even started rapping, really. He was always rapping, I think, on the side, but when he started really rapping and really picked up like both sides of the coin, he was really, you know, he really like took it to a new level. I think Zero's next level when it comes to production. I don't think many people are touching him.
No, his production is super unique and crazy. Like he's on another level.
Agreed. Absolutely ludicrous stuff. Like him and Scott Free joining Southern Goth Mob. That's a huge look for them. And I want them to get more recognition as a result, because both those guys drop on a very frequent basis. Scott Free has hella tapes out this year already. He had a beat tape the other day. I don't know if you peeped it, with a bunch of features from other producers.
No, but I saw that it like came out, because I haven't heard the Steel Trees like Scott Free.
That's the one.
Yeah. Because that's what I saw on John's list and stuff. So I had that's on my radar. Yeah, definitely check that out, because he has collabs with Zero, Loko, Thuk as well. Lil Trash, bunch of great producers on there. He knows his way around a Lex Luger. What's the expression? I don't know, but like a lot of his beats are very like Lex Luger-y, and I love that, because that's like exactly the kind of sound that that I like to hear brought back. It just sounds massive, and he's great at what he does. Our interviews worth listening to too as well. Definitely check my page out for the Scott Free interview. I've actually got a playlist of all the ones I've done this year, but his is quite insightful also. He's a nice bloke. He's a good bloke as well. Definitely. Yeah, no, for sure. I'll definitely check that out. I was going through, a lot of like Slur's like EPs are good. Like, it's a lot of his stuff is like really solid, and then he just like he'll have those like great tapes that like we just went over.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think it like it's tougher to get into like some of the stuff. Like I think their one tape has a pretty good rating on RYM. The Broken and Annoyed tape. Yeah, I really like the second and third, which of course it's gone now, but I listened to it when it was up, and I really like the second and third tracks, but I don't like the first song at all.
I'm trying to remember.
The first song was like it's like kind of like acoustic guitar thing.
Oh yeah, that weird intro. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
I mean it's only like a minute. It's only like a minute, so it doesn't really like mean anything. But it was just weird.
He's a serial deleter as well. He'll get rid of songs almost immediately when they come out. Yeah. Oh man, well actually I know that his best project was Casino Caris with Trash. That was all produced by Trash. That was a great tape too, but it had a Solfinito collab and a Bloody Bay collab, so I mean it was going to be gone eventually anyway. Yeah. So yeah.
I think the takeaway from this episode is like save as much stuff as you can if you're like getting into this.
Definitely.
Just because or just like message people that have it, because it's just you never know. You really never know when like it might go away for a long time.
No, I mean like I know those guys don't even really like their music being re-uploaded. I've seen 4J say that he doesn't like it. But I mean that's entirely the artist's choice. But I do think if you put something up and then delete it, you shouldn't be surprised when someone might like that more than your other songs. Like the amount of songs I've loved on SoundCloud and not saved But obviously, I'm in a position where I can easily DM someone and say, "Can I have that song? You know, that you deleted. I love that song." But you know, like the average person might not feel that, might have the confidence or even the ability to message a random artist I've never met before and say, "I want to hear this song again," especially when it's people like them, you know. So it's tricky.
More inclined to say no anyway.
Yeah, it's more inclined to say "fuck off, don't talk to me." So it's like, yeah, basically, yeah. It's a shame, but you know, it is what it is. Kids are going to be kids. I'm afraid, because they are all very young. So I once again, you know, you can't criticize them for making the music they want to make and fuck everybody else. Like, that makes perfect sense to me.
Right, because it's
can't criticize it.
Yeah, that I agree with you. That makes perfect sense. I was gonna say one person that like I really got into was 2 Chainz.
Yes, he's an interesting one.
Yeah, like his arc is has been really cool, because I started with like the No Love tape, and then
No Love was cool, yeah,
and then like and then this year his album,
In the Sky,
In the Sky won't come down. Yeah, I was like, the difference between the two is so crazy, like in how he's doing like cloudy like emo rap now, which is like really cool to listen to.
Yes, his early stuff, No Love, which I remember was is still quite popular on the site. Actually, I'm looking now; it's got a decent average. Had a lot of Jxwish beats, because Jxwish, in case you didn't know, was an original Jewelxxet member, and Jxwish, who was a guy I'm like really personal good friends with. Like, he's a great lad. I'm gonna meet him soon, hopefully, as well, because he's English, in case anyone didn't know that. Jxwish is from London, but his American credits meant he could get in there, and I just love the fact that Jxwish beats get like contorted so much into weird shit. Like Lost in Translation doesn't sound anything like a Jxwish beat. It's not even close. It's just bizarre, contorted stuff. Same with Benzo Gill and the first song, Perk Worship, which I think is the best song on there, actually, I'd say. It's like bizarre stuff. And now, as you say, he's making like, he's gonna complete 180 almost. His recent material, 2 Chainz, is very different, very, very different. But I do think that he's one of the most abstract and kind of like self-deprecating members, I'd say. I mean, they're all kind of like, I want to die, but I feel like in his case it might be quite serious. I don't know. Right. I get almost. Someone said that No Love was similar to Oblivion Access, and I don't even disagree with that. It's actually pretty similar in like its themes. Like, it's not that. That's not that wild a comparison.
No, not at all.
I see it.
Not at all. Yeah, I can definitely see that. That is pretty wild.
It is.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I can see that kind of similarity. It is weird though. It's like, I Want to Die contrasted with like, fuck all of you people. Like, it's
basically
it's really like / like some like light, like somewhat flexing, like depending, which I guess is a sort of continuation. We saw this on a much bigger level, like, but that's kind of how like a lot of, you know, whether it's internet rap movements or like more of the mainstream rap that got popular from SoundCloud, like, it's kind of the same in that whole aesthetic, where it's like, I mean, I'm referencing the conversation we had doing the Pete podcast a few weeks ago, where we were just talking about, like, I think Wyatt was talking about something where like Peep and Tracy would have lines where it was like I just got the Maserati so I could, like, you know, drive it off a cliff or crash it, something like that. Like,
yeah.
Is that sort of like two sides of the aesthetic? So I think this is much darker than that, but it's also like, it's playing around with sort of similar things. There's just a lot more, like, you know, off-kilter,
I agree.
like satanic stuff in there.
I mean, it's bizarre. It's too weird to get into. Shane is was again one of the original members. He's also very young. You know, they're all around the same age.
Yeah.
And those three are the main. You know, they've been in it since the start. Almost everybody else is like a new member. I think Hermes was in there from the start too, and a couple other people who don't really make music like that, like Bassius barely makes music anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Crimson, who's 4J's cousin, fun fact. And you got people like Margin Bloody, who's like a recent member to join. Same with Zero, of course, and Sella, and young Steve as well, whose music is also pretty batshit.
Yeah, Young Steve, definitely like the most generic rapper name for like it doesn't fit the music at all.
in it. Honestly, I was surprised he was as good as he was. I'll be honest.
I went to go listen to music. I'm like, all right, Young Steve, let's do like, what are we gonna get out of this? But it was actually good.
Yeah, he is honestly pretty good, and we never got to do an interview before the whole Jxwish and me fallout, but I can definitely say that he's one of the more prolific people, not in the sense that he drops, but in the sense that he makes stuff. Like, I know he has massive fuck-off archives of stuff. He makes hella stuff. And his mixing's pretty unique, too, because they all have their own unique mixing styles. Slur's got DJ Slur. 4J's got, he's got multiple, hasn't he, actually? He had the Lucy 4, and then, what was the other one? What's the other one called? Bad with names. He has a bunch of different names he calls like his mixes and stuff, but apparently it's just like kids fucking around with computers, basically. But I mean, isn't that how all great music is born? So when you think about it,
I mean, you know, the quote "kids fucking around with computers" could really just be applied to like any really cool like movement in music recently, or even in the last decade or so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. But yeah, I always wondered, like, when I first heard it, it was like, when I first heard their music, it was like, what kind of like crazy weird phase is like rap going into right now? Like, it's just it's so insane to me, like how deep and vast like the genre is, where you can get stuff like this, you know, and it comes out in the same year as like, you know, completely, you know, normal, more like, you know, the most like mainstream of stuff, which is, once again, not a bad thing. Like, it's just at all. It's just, to me, it's so cool that there's the ocean is this deep for like rap, and like that has allowed this to be like a movement.
I feel like stuff like this proves you can. I mean, you see, and a lot of people would say this isn't rap. You know, this is not what I grew up on. Blah blah blah. But every generation is going to feel like that. That the next one's too weird for them. Like people don't like hyperpop or whatever for the same reason. You know, it's like too weird for them. But stuff like this, and I guess RCB also, because I mean RCB, you know, allegations or not, suspect people or not, got some great stuff.
Oh my god! I mean, yeah, they're one of like, look, it would suck if like, you know, shit came out against High C, because he's honestly one of my favorite artists now. So he's
dope, yeah.
Yeah, like, and there's a cross here because Loko was on Bizarre Adventures.
So he was, yeah.
Yeah, he has credit. I think he's a couple credits on that, because he did the track with the one with Marcy Main toward the end. I think 5G was on there too.
Oh yeah, 5G and Marcy Main, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another track on Bizarre Adventures that he's on. I think he's on two of them.
I don't think I gave that tape the same attention I gave you know, the other one, the other one.
Demons in Tokyo.
Thank you. No. Well, no, that one too. Bloody Rainbow's the game. Blood Rainbow's the game.
Yeah.
I think Blood Rainbow's the game was the greatest one that they did.
It's definitely the weirdest one. I was talking about this with when Jack came on. Like, it's definitely like their most out there one, I think.
The samples, the weird like samples, the The artwork is awesome.
Oh yeah.
The fact that the top review is Blade and Kevin Shields sexing in RuneScape. Yeah, that's such a wild comparison. It's so bang on though.
It really is. Although he didn't give it the proper rating for it. It's a shame.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I'd give it at least 4 stars. I think probably 3.5, 4 stars, that kind of thing. I don't like the solo Diamonds on My Dick songs as much because, you know, I don't.
His delivery is more regular than like High C's or even Cartier's. Like he has good solo stuff that like he has tapes on his solo stuff that I really like, but he has so much solo stuff and like so much of it is like, this is fine. Like this is like fun.
Quite a lot of it's quite bad, really, in my opinion. Like it's, I don't know. Like,
the singles, a lot of the singles, like especially recently, are bad.
Like he just doesn't know what he's doing anymore. I don't.
No, he doesn't. I think High C's like and Cartier like have way more creative juice. Like in terms of what they've done this year, like.
Oh yeah. High C's. What was it? No More Heroes. Was it? Is that what he did? Yeah. Is that the name of the one? Yeah, that was interesting. And I think a High C single is always going to have some effort put into it. Whereas like
a DMD single, like
DMD or like any of their episodes, like Lazy God, that stuff's just going to sound well bad. You know, it's like solo Diamonds on My Dick songs. If they're on Krxxk beats, he's just wasting the beat completely. I said this many times in my lists and shit. And like the best song on Blood Rain Boys the Game, in my opinion, is Vampire Sama Gang XXingleXX because you get the crazy beat, which I think it's a great song. I think it's Seda and Krxxk that, or maybe just Seda. I don't recall because Seda and Krxxk have a lot of collabs. Seda's notoriously bad at crediting other people that he collabs with.
Apparently that's just Seda. Now, but we don't know, I guess. But the credits say it just Seda.
I remember I had to credit 2 other people that Seda forgot to credit when I posted a song once. That's all I'm saying. Like it was a 3-way collab, Seda, Krxxk, and Father Blaze, and I had to like credit that. And it's just I think that's just him. I think he's just forgetful. But when he raps on like "Till My Thumbs Bleed" is the best solo song on there because High C did his thing. But it's a good tape. I just think RCB did kind of fall off. You know, I wasn't feeling what was the rock? Was it Rock Out?
Oh yeah, I love that one. I don't think they've fallen off, but I get why. Like I know some people don't like that one.
It's you know, like I enjoyed the one with Casper. Yeah, I like Casper.
I love Casper.
Yeah, Casper's great.
Casper needs to blow up.
I think he will. I think he'll have a similar career trajectory to like Baby Goyard. I think he'll blow up a little more. I think he'll have like one big track. I think
his sound is pretty accessible. Like I mean, he's gonna get like Peep comparisons.
Yes, people were mad as fuck about Look What You Started. Remember when Look What You Started dropped and with High C and Casper. Yeah, and he was hitting them boy band vocals, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Right, because it's so different from like RCB.
Yeah, it is mad different, but yeah, he's definitely worthy of checking out. I just hope he's not a creep or a freak or a weirdo or anything like that.
I hope not. I don't. I mean, well, he's also was like 18, like 19. He's mad, he's mad young.
Whereas Diamonds on My Dick's like 30 years old.
30, right? As again, back to the DMD slander.
It never ends.
It never ends because he's 30.
People know from when I do Just Take with Remy. I make it tradition to shit on Diamonds on My Dick in every episode, just a little bit. It just makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah. No, I like I said, for all intents and purposes, I have not heard great things about him. I have no connection with him or anything, and I like some of his music, but I know that he's not the greatest of guys. But yeah, I definitely
dodgy geezer.
I definitely think Casper should blow up. I've been listening to a ton of his shit the last few months. Like I only discovered him like 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago, I think. So yeah, he's been like a lot of his songs. I'm like, how is this not bigger than it is? Like it just seems like something that
it's super accessible.
Super accessible. Like Paris Hilton. Like I don't know how that song only has like. I mean, it's got like good plays. Like it's done well, but it hasn't done like. It's not in the like 7-figure plays. Like it's like 300K views on YouTube, I think, or something, which is really good. for like an
It could-
underground artist, but still.
Yeah, but comparatively, like, it could be that he keeps collabing with people who are just not on his level, like people who just, like Zeliocho, you know, that's just one example. Like, those sorts of people, if he was making, like, pop songs, you know what I mean? Like, if he was on that wave, that would be a way better and cooler sound for him.
He also doesn't drop projects. Like, he just...
No, I don't think he has really any, does he? Aside from that one EP.
He's got that one EP, which is, like, so early that it's not really, like, a good representation of, like, where he is. Because, like, all of his 2019 and 2020 stuff is so good. And, like, his 2018 stuff is, like, fine. Like, Headache's really good. And, like, Function's good. But, like, I don't know. The You Wouldn't Believe Me EP is, like, it's, like, solid. But, like, I'll never listen to it again. Like, it's, like, fine. Yeah. Like, it doesn't show, like, his songwriting talents, do I think, like, that his, like, singles, like, I don't know, like Paris Hilton, WWJD, like, Hate It, How It Is, or like Don't Want to Dance, like Vogue, like all the songs.
I think he, you know, not to name drop Youngster Jack in light of everything, but I mean that's the kind of, he could maybe reach that level of popularity. I don't know if any of his songs, any of Casper songs are popular on TikTok, for example, but that seems to be the way to blow up these days.
Yeah, I feel like he should have gone like I feel like he could have like the David Shardy, like Youngster Jack, like route of like TikTok, because that's how they got noticed, because people were like listening to like Pressure and being like, what is this song like?
yeah.
That's how they got.
That was a big moment
for the whole scene in the underground. Which there's just there was a Pigeons and Planes piece wrote about.
I read it. It was awesome to see like people that I follow on there, like Kevin Hilfiger, the guys from Goon City and shit. Like, it's awesome to see people get their dues, because they work so hard. And
I know that like was it? Well, I think it's what, Pitchforker, or is it like Osquin now? They have. Oh,
it's Osquin.
It's
no,
Osquin.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really good. Like they've been kind of blowing up, like not blowing up, but just in terms of like the underground. Like if you look at their stuff, like they've gotten like, they're getting a bigger and bigger following. Like it's slowly getting there. So I could see them being like the face of the scene.
They got suspended on Twitter and then they're probably back to their normal count now. Honestly, like their fan base is not to be messed with. They're already back on. I'm trying to find it. They seriously like didn't even skip a beat in terms of following. No. Like, it's just so easy for them, and they have a great, you know, sound. Club Penguin. Yeah, here we go. Already back on 11K followers. This is the old account. But regardless, regardless, it's very impressive how rabid the fan base is. It's nuts. Yeah. Like. And for good reason. And, you know, the music's very interesting. We've covered it on our blog. My co-writer, Jamie, who I've got to give a shout-out to. We're actually a 3-man team at 108 Mics now. So we're really pushing the boat out. But Jamie wrote a great piece on Osquin's EP, which you can read.
The one with was Anything and Okay, I'm Cool on it, right?
With, like, the trees on it or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That one.
The Okay, I'm Cool, that second track is one of my favorite songs of the year. Like, I love that song.
That is a great song. I think Black Winterwells did the beats too. And I want to say, I don't want to get the pronouns wrong. I'll say they. They are very talented.
Yeah. No, I think Black Winterwells, I think it is they.
I think so, yeah. I know we got slightly off the dark trap topic, but there are so many of these guys that are so talented. They definitely all deserve a shout out. Like Kid Trash.
I love Kid Trash.
Kid Trash is from not far away from me. They are English. They're from Nottingham. Yeah, which is like a couple hours away from me on the train. So that's really cool to see someone from the UK do such big things. I mean, you wouldn't guess, would you? Like, from the music, doesn't sound anything.
I thought they were from America.
They are from Nottingham, which is where Robin Hood's from. If you know Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
And then there's people like,
I mean, you know, Nottingham Forest. You know, don't.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then there's people like Alice Gas, Angelus, Chach, Midwest, all the guys from Goon City. You know,
Yeah.
so much talent, man. That scene is great. Honestly, I like it. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah,
Huh?
I don't know why. I don't know why people. Well, I guess I can get why people don't like it, just because like it's
Because they think it's lazy, I think, and they think it's like too gimmicky and comical, and you know
Yeah,
and they're not taking rap seriously, you know, and maybe that's true, but I don't think it's. I think like we, you know, especially on 108 Mics, we try and cover as much different stuff as we can. Like we don't like just focusing on dark trap, and we did fall into that pit, or I did rather, because I was a one-man team tour this year. I did everything myself. I fell into that trap a little bit, but now we're definitely really pushing the boat out, and I think I think like finding artists like Popstar Bills. I'm sure you're familiar with Popstar Bills as well.
yeah.
He is like his renditions of pop songs are fucking insane. He's so crazy with it. Like people like that are just really hardworking artists that deserve it all, if you ask me. So I don't see an issue at all with that style of music becoming increasingly popular. And you know, kids love it. Like literal kids love it on TikTok. So why hate? You know, it's like it's doing it. They're all doing. I think
it's the coolest shit. Like I am all the way like here for it. Honestly, it's like I said, like this whole. Like that whole movement is like one of my favorite things I've discovered this year, and I think that right up there with it is like this, you know, dark trap scene. And I feel like kind of like what I said, I keep referring to the RCB episode because I kind of had like the general like internet rap music discussion, but I feel like these are all connected. Like if you're a fan of one of these scenes, you're a fan of the other one of these scenes. Like you're a very plugged in, like online, you know, music listener, and like you know, and you're aware of all this shit that's going on, and like how like music is kind of changing, and that's like, and you're into it. At least I feel like I can speak for most people when I say that, like who would be into either of these scenes, you know?
Yeah. I think there's people who have sticklers for the darker stuff, and really don't like branching out into like some artists hate, like there's some people who hate when Krxxk gets on plug beats, for example. They just want him to make tread stuff again.
Right.
And there's people who want like, you know, there's people who would rather die than listen to like a fucking hyperpop cover of an Ellie Goulding song. But that's like the sound. That's like the sound of that whole scene, and all them guys are just doing such great things. And you know, I wouldn't even say that's my favorite sound at the moment, but it's undeniably the most powerful. And it's already becoming a little homogenous. But what do you expect when people like, you know, Osquin, and I know 100 Gex aren't technically the same scene, but they'll be damned if they don't have an influence from a cultural standpoint, because they sure do.
They definitely like birthed like half the artists in that scene.
Yeah, maybe completely accidentally, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, you know, just coming across like around the same time. But I mean, I feel like just it's an easy transition from like Gex or like anything Drain Gang, obviously, like just with. I mean, like you don't get like, I mean, Youngster Jack like doesn't exist without Blade. Like, is that sort of?
I think that's absolutely true, yeah. And a lot of people would say that's not, but I mean, it is. It's definitely true.
And I don't even look. We don't no idea if the allegations are true or not. People say they are, that like are more in the know than me, so I'll defer to them. But like, I don't know. Nothing's ever come out, at least aside from those tweets, which I don't know. But regardless, like, yeah, it's definitely his music, like. Big part in that scene, because I think like if you go and look at like the view counts and shit on like YouTube or SoundCloud, like his stuff is definitely some of the most popular.
Yes,
so it was like definitely a big part in like drawing attention to that. Yeah, so he might be another like DOMD, like sketchy, you know, very sketchy character, but yeah.
Well, most people have, I mean, deleted their collabs and stuff. I mean, for good reason, because that scene does have a lot of weird characters in. I mean, just this year, I've seen so many people get jettisoned from groups, you know, lose all credibility because they've either said something racist or been accused of molesting somebody. You know, it goes on and on. It goes on and on.
It's really unfortunate, like honestly, just like the amount of like potential good music lost because the people making it are just like shitheads. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's wildly unfortunate, and You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should say people should be more careful about who they
associate themselves
they,
with.
who they let
Yeah.
into their groups. But how are you supposed to know? Like, it's impossible. You can be a good judge of character and not know if someone's, secretly a creepy, like a creep or any of this stuff. It's
Or has like a past that you don't know about. Like you have
exactly.
you have no idea. Yeah.
Because these events allegedly took place years ago, so it's like it's impossible. How would you know
Right.
that this guy you're making music with has done or not done whatever these
Right.
actions? It's a tough one, but I usually think that people who are bad at defending themselves, people who are bad at explaining themselves, look more guilty, and he absolutely did that in this case. Like he posted that long-winded.
Yeah. What was
apology.
that? It was a
was
weird
just
video.
Weird vibes, man. It was like an ISIS beheading video. I just felt uncomfortable watching the whole thing. I was just like,
Oh
what the hell
my
is this?
God.
This is so strange. Yeah. That's that. I don't know. I feel like I say some wild shit sometimes, but that's that English sense of humor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
So-
I thought it was hilarious. Don't apologize. That was hilarious.
But yeah, like his body language, everything was weird about that, and it's the same with Lucky, because Lucky got them allegations. Like
Yeah.
he,
Okay. So right, and
he
that
was-
was something I was like really sad about. But so it was the allegation, right?
Mhm.
And then was there ever a follow up on that? Because I was
No.
reading like users and they were saying like, oh, it didn't go anywhere. So I was like, okay, is that
No.
a good thing or not a good thing? I don't know what happened.
I think I remember that week. That was the same week Tracy's allegations resurfaced.
Well, the Tracy ones were like way like, I mean, obviously they're all serious, of course, but I just
Yes.
the Tracy ones were like really bad.
They were not nice to read about. But the Tracy ones has been much discussion about. The Lucky one, not so much. But he was very bad at defending himself. He just kept saying things like "Stop saying my name" and all this, and it's just
Yeah, it was
it's
weird.
not
I mean,
a good look.
I know Lucky's like kind of standoffish, like in general. So I don't know. Maybe that's just him, but like, it was weird. I don't know. I pray that it's not true, just because like he's like an artist I love a lot. So it's just like,
Yeah, he's
you never want that to be true, like regardless of
no.
Yeah.
Nor with Tracy either, because I
Yeah.
at least the last couple of years I listened to a lot of Tracy on and off. But I remember that week they were getting hella people. They were saying like someone said Lil Keed attacked her one time. All sorts,
Yeah,
man.
it's just-
I mean, it's impossible to know whether what's true and what isn't until it just is. So yeah, but the Lil Key thing really didn't go anywhere. So I guess people are just free to listen to him as
Yeah.
normal.
I
I
mean,
guess. But,
Yeah, I think that allegations have more momentum when it's like more than one person. So like we've seen like with the Tracy stuff or whatever, but like, so I think it was this one person, and I was looking all over the internet for like any sort of follow up on the allegations, and like there was no reporting on it. So, and once again, doesn't mean it's not true, but I don't know what we're looking at here. Like I said, I just hope it's not true. If it is true, that that fucking sucks, and like it's
yeah,
but
it just makes you lose faith,
I don't
doesn't
know.
it?
Yeah, it really does. It's really upsetting. But I hope not, because like I said, like Lucky's music is like very personal too, so it's just like
Yes,
It would-
it's
it would
hard
suck.
to separate.
it would suck if
Yeah.
it was true, but we don't know.
We don't.
Right now, like I said, all I can do is just be like, I mean, I guess I'll just take it at face value and have a neutral opinion on it, because like,
I think that's fair.
yeah, that's all I can do. Usually with the vast majority of allegations, like I'm 100% in the camp of not the artist, because I've just assumed that most artists are not great people.
I think that's a solid assumption.
Yeah. With this one, just because like there's so little information, I'm like, maybe it's not true, but who knows? Like it's Lucky. It's not like some big artist, so
Exactly. Yeah.
it's a weird person to allege. I don't know.
It is. But yeah. No, you're right. I think that's a decent stance to have.
Yeah.
I just think it more like.
I think my take sometimes is you don't have to have a take unless
That's
you know what I mean.
good. Yeah, kinda.
Kind of like sometimes you don't have to have a take. You don't have to say anything. You just have to wait until whatever happens. But I mean, sometimes it's like more obvious and like the evidence is right there. So obviously, like, you know, when that shit comes out, you're like, oh man, like fuck this artist, da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a certain point where you can't ignore it, but
yeah, sometimes like I just kind of sit back and wait and see if anything else comes out, just because you know you have no idea.
Yeah, that's actually dead true. Yeah, that's very true. And obviously, with something like Jxwish, that's a much more almost localized scenario because you know,
it seems more believable because it's like, you know, he had a relationship with this girl. You know, whatever it was, only them two can know what it was. But like, and just like you said, the video of like was really bad at defending himself. I'm like, what? I was watching it, and I was like, why did you make this? Like, I don't.
Yeah, like you would have been better off saying nothing.
Right.
Really.
Even like I said, even if what he's saying is true, it's like you look so. Maybe he's just uncomfortable. I don't know. It is weird.
It's very weird, and
yeah, I don't know.
You either know you're innocent or you know you did something bad. Like you gotta you gotta come with the good stuff. Like you gotta know what you're saying, and you can't just like sit in a room pointing the camera at your head, like just spouting nonsense.
As soon as you're an artist and you start like, you know, blowing up and something happens like this and you know you're innocent, like you have to have cold hard, you know, evidence because these any allegations against, you know, any allegations of that magnitude should be taken very seriously, you know. So
definitely,
you know, and it's just like, you can't just make some like random YouTube video and try to clear it up by explaining your very weird relationship with this girl.
Exactly, yeah. Like that's not going to do any good for anyone, and it hasn't worked anyway. He's still exiled, so
yeah. I don't think he's made songs since then.
I actually did see that he dropped something a couple of months back. I think it was during the Black Lives Matter protest when those were at their height in like May, June, that kind of time.
Yeah, around that time.
That run about then he dropped a song and everyone was like, "Bro, you could literally not have picked a worse time. Like, why we don't want to hear from you, white boy, and shit like that." And you know that's valid.
Right.
Because he's just. Like he should know better at marketing himself, and basically the best thing to do would just be to dip completely. I think so. I hope he's done that.
Yeah, like for
regardless of whether he did it or not. Which I probably, based on his very guilty face in that video.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't. I definitely lean toward the like they're true, but I once again, no idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just weird, but like I mean, like I said, that scene is really great, and it intersects with the scene that we've been like talking about here, and you know, much different, but at the same time, like of a similar headspace because it's like expanding, you know, what was thought of as just like rap music, like it's stretching it to like beyond like its logical conclusion to where it becomes something else like entirely. You know?
Yes, that's dead accurate. Yeah, that's very true.
It goes into like, you know, like a lot of the genre tags on like these, you know, Jxwish projects are like trap, experimental hip hop, like, you know, nightcore, like blah blah blah, tread, whatever. But it's like it's almost beyond like a lot of those genres. Like it doesn't even feel like it feels like its own genre.
It's certainly beyond nightcore. I don't think. In fact, I've seen people say that they don't like being called nightcore.
It's definitely like people will say like, oh, it's nightcore rap because like they're rapping fast and they do like the rap thing. Yeah, but it's
people have been doing that since the 90s though. People have been doing that since like Florida. Florida's always had like
Florida's had that scene. Yeah. Because Space Ghost had some stuff that was like kind of like
the stick drill stuff, right? That's kind of like sped up rap. And if you listen to Herme's stuff, a lot of that is like the XL Cartel stuff, like the pre-BMB stuff especially. A lot of that's very sped up. And also Lizza has a bunch of songs that are like sped up, and none of that's nightcore in that sense. So
not in like the like gaudy aesthetic, like, you know, really like almost indistinguishable like vocals kind of nightcore.
Yeah. definitely.
But I guess, circling back to Jxwish, like, what would be some of, like, your favorite projects? Like, if I was given someone, like, 5 or 10, like, 10 projects to listen to, like,
Is
to
this
get
just
into
Jxwish or BMB as well?
I guess you could throw both. Why not? Because they're so intertwined.
I would definitely say Herme, who's a member of both.
Mm-hmm.
I would say definitely check out Luna de Sangre 2.
Yeah.
I think that's probably his best tape. He does have a lot of stuff that's more chilled and cloudy, but that one is very dense and dark and weird and experimental. So definitely check out Luna de Sangre 2, which I think means Blood Moon, if I'm not mistaken, by Hermes. I would say Liz's Shock the World tape, which you mentioned earlier. You can hear that on Lizard Archive. That has a bunch of fantastic beats, and I'm not too sure if he's cool with Jxwish anymore. I think he might have bit the dust with them as well. But at one point he was rapping on 4J beats, and that was sounding pretty dope. So I'd say Shock the World by Lizard. And then for 4J, I might still go with Sex Symbol as an intro, I think. Because that just really, there's a lot of like sex noises for some reason on that album. But I mean, if you can ignore the porn sounds, then you'll have a good time.
I was listening to that in my like house like a few months ago, and I was like, I might throw the headphones on for this one. Might not play this one out of the Bluetooth speaker.
There's some horny ass shit on there. Definitely.
Isn't there like a whole like skit, or like not a skit, but like the beginning of a song where it's like porn sounds?
I think it's the I Am Gonna Try song.
Yeah.
Stores one of those. There's a lot of porn sounds, but aside from that, I say that's the best intro to 4J. I would say, and I know Tib, who John mentioned earlier, Tib from Rate Your Music, he has long endorsed Public Enemy by Solfinito as one of the best projects in this genre. And I would agree that was one of the heights of, because he was a Jxwish member too at that time. That was one of the heights of that really weird, dark, abrasive stuff. It isn't like sped up, and it isn't as crazy. Not. But it does sound like the hip hop equivalent. If black metal was rap, that's what it would sound like, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's very weird. So I'd say go check that out. Shame that he's not cool with Jxwish anymore, but that's how things are. But the beats on that are very weird and minimal, and it just kind of sounds like him. Kind of sounds like he's rapping over songs from like Burzum, early Burzum stuff, almost with 808s.
It's definitely like the most like horrorcore-ish of like their stuff. It definitely has like that aesthetic. Like it kind of reminded me of the Alvin Abyss tape, the Tread tape.
The one with
isn't that the one with Oogie Man?
Circle of Salt. Is the one with Circle of Salt on? So that.
That's God, why am I forgetting the name? It's like Horror Block 2K.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but that one is great. Yeah. No, I definitely see what you mean. Because Working on Dying, again, also impossible to talk about underground rap without Working on Dying. Working on Dying, we're doing dark, weird shit for a while. So definitely Solfinito. Trying to think of other stuff you can still find.
It's very hard.
I'm not going to include any Chxpo projects because there's just so many to pick from, and he exists outside of BMB as well, like quite heavily. But I would say that trying to think. I think Baby Gucci deserves his props. He doesn't really have any projects I'd consider essential, but I definitely think Baby Gucci on Black Hell. I think it's Black Hell, or it might be Black Hill. I'm not too sure. That one has some fantastic songs on. It's very short EP, but that was also like golden age BMB.
I like that. The Mad Dog one.
Oh, the Mad Dog one was awesome. Yeah, Zero did all the mixes and he was chopping that shit up like crazy. I don't remember who actually did the beats on there, but Zero's work on that was nutty. Yeah, Mad Dog.
There's a Lord. It's like Lord Unknown's on there.
Oh man, I got to shout out Lord Unknown. Lord Unknown, also English. For all you guys out there.
I'm learning that a lot of people that are instrumental in this scene are English, and that rules. I had no clue or conception of where they were from.
Yeah, Lord Unknown's from London. I don't know much about him, but I do know he's one of the best modern trend producers I've ever heard. Him and Raid
and also Thorns as well. You can't talk about Thorns, who's Russian. You can't talk about Shred without Thorns, but definitely Raid and also Lord Unknown, awesome Shred producers. The sounds that Lord Unknown creates are like almost like video game soundtracks, like absolutely nuts, man. He has a whole EP with Ferrara. Are you familiar with Ferrara?
Yeah, heard of. I don't think I've heard any projects.
He has like a weird 80s synth pop project with Lord Unknown that's absolutely essential. I would definitely check that out. I'm gonna have to remember the name of it. I think it's hang on.
How do you spell it? Because I looked up Ferrara and I got the.
It's with whoever decided to add it on Radio Music put a 4 in his name that isn't. So it's FERR4RA on Radio Music.
Oh, okay.
And you probably will be able to find it from there. There's a lot of stuff there. It's Breakdown, with Lord Unknown. His stuff's awesome too. I've got a little side chat, but basically, Baby Gucci, Hermes, all those guys. But from like the original members, I would say the Screwmain Flame Beat tapes, as John was saying. I mean, there's too many for me to listen to them all, but those are crazy sounds. And also, I would say that the recent, the Loko Los versus Krxxk tape and all.
Yeah.
Those are awesome, because if you like the sound of those, you'll love, the people rapping on them, because in many cases you don't need rappers. But man, I mean, God, does some people just make but take Loko beats to the next level, especially. I think Bloodline beats are harder to rap on. I've only heard a few people rap well on them. But Loko, Krxxk, Bloodline, that's like the holy trinity, really. And they were all BMB members at one point. Bloodline is not in the members list on Radio Music, but that's because he wasn't in for very long. But all three of those guys are awesome. And honestly, check out those instrumental tapes. Anything instrumental by any of the BMB producers is usually pretty great. I'd say start from there, actually. And then if you like any of that stuff, there's a whole host of old Taco L tapes, Jar Stacks tapes, all that good stuff. Even Carnus, when he was a member, has a bunch of great stuff on Loko beats. So there really is just a world of stuff to explore. And then when you get to the Jxwish stuff, I mean, you're literally living in the Jxwish era now. So I mean, if you like the sound of what we're talking about, go follow them all on SoundCloud. They're dropping stuff at least on a bi-daily basis. You can't possibly miss out. If you're interested in what like the underground sounds like now, that's like one side of it. That's so huge and all encompassing. Just be aware that if you follow them on Twitter, you may see a lot of arguing and the odd anti-Semitic tweet. But aside from that, it's all in good faith.
Yeah. No, I think you summed that up pretty well. I would also probably listen to like Space Ghost stuff, like for BMB.
Course.
Yeah, like I think that kind of what I was referring to earlier, like when we talked about like So Icy with No Jewelry, like Blackline Radio Part 2, I think is a good jumping off point for like this sound.
Yes.
Because it's so dark. And it's, by the way, it's not top 100 all time yet in RYM, but it should be, and it's going to be at some point. So I
can't believe it's bolded. I think that's insane that it's bolded. Is it still bolded? Yeah. Still bolded?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's 133 all time. So it'll get
133 EPs. Wow, that's mental.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
what about Larry Bird season? What's that at?
Larry Bird season it's also bolded. Yeah.
214 overall, not bad.
Not bad at all. Deserving for sure.
Definitely, those are the two. I'd say maybe Dark Angel deserves bold too, though, and maybe Florida Baby as well. I like Florida Baby a lot. That has a lot of great Bloodline beats. Definitely.
Yeah, like Florida Flame, I think is I mean, that doesn't have like, it's not the same vibe, but Florida Flame is a really great tape too. Yeah,
I mean, every person I've met that likes Spaceghostpurrp thinks this shit's so real, one of his best songs, and it is. I think it's Blah Blah Blaze beat that. It's an awesome song. That it's just a shame his new stuff's been so homogenous. Like he literally keeps dropping the same songs on newly packaged tapes.
You didn't like the Space Ghost pussy response? You didn't like that?
I wasn't really fucking with that. No.
Yeah, it's a 27. It's all right. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It's like that song came out 4 years ago. Why respond to it now?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you gotta love Burp, I guess, in some way.
In some way, yeah. It's although the one he dropped the other day, the Z Rex one, that was pretty good.
I haven't actually checked that out yet, but I just read it was all the same. I read it was like a lot of songs that had already come out though, or is that wrong?
Yeah, it was like recycled, but like it was pretty good.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there were some songs on there that were already out. Yeah, keeping up with Space Ghost is another wonderful thing about the dark underground.
I mean, like stuff goes up for like an hour, it goes down. It gets reposted on YouTube by random people. That Space Ghost archive is pretty comprehensive though, so I gotta give it up to whoever set that up. I don't know their name, but yeah, they did a good job there. It's got basically everything I think that he's ever dropped. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. Keeping up with Space Ghost is definitely a trip.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's tough, but usually the quality's pretty good or pretty great, depending.
Generally.
On, generally. But yeah, I think everything that you've said in this episode, I feel like is super valuable for anyone looking to get into this scene. Like that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on. It's just like your knowledge of it's so extensive. I already went on streaming and added all the little 108 mic stuff that I hadn't heard. So
awesome. I hope you enjoy. I've actually got my latest tape, which was the Burning one, and that's going to be coming to streaming in its entirety. It's got songs from a bunch of artists that people like. Some artists people may never have heard. I just got it. Oh, and also I do have some more stuff planned for this year. I will just give myself a little shout out for the Eurochild series, which if you're not aware, is all UK artists. So anyone that appears on there as a primary artist is from the UK, and I've got the third installment of that coming out very soon. But yeah, Eurochild, which if anyone doesn't know, is a Massive Attack song. I just straight up stole the logo. Is my kind of like my baby. It's like my favorite series I'm doing, so I will be dropping more of that later in the year. And I just hope, like you said, you didn't know a lot of these people are from the UK, like Egyptian, Lord Unknown, Kid Trash. There's a lot of names that people don't think are from this side of the pond. But yeah, we got hella talent over here. And I think that's worth looking out for as well. Not only in the dark trap scene, but also in like I said, Kid Trash is like Kid Trash is doing numbers on Spotify, and Exotic's doing numbers. Like Exotic is insanely big song, and that's like crazy to me.
It's so perfect though. It's such a perfect song.
It's a fantastic song. It's just awesome to see people from the UK doing well. So yeah, definitely check out for Eurochild 3 coming later this year. I've got some stuff on the way. But yeah, I'm glad I've been able to put you onto some new stuff. Everything I suggested in this episode is worth a listen, regardless of how I feel about the person individually, because I could definitely go on for a lot longer about how I feel about people individually, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But all these people make awesome music, and they have all in their own way sculpted the sound of the underground that we hear today. And it is still happening right now. That's the thing. People think they've missed the glory days of BMB, and yeah, maybe, but I mean, there's whole new sounds happening now that are just as exciting. Like, I mean, just to name drop a few groups, Southern Goth Mob are the best they've ever been. As I said, EvilPlug are doing bits. Obviously, Jxwish are just killing shit. The Hexxcult Records comp that came out lately, all old songs, but like, if that doesn't show the versatility of their roast, I don't know what does. Was it roast? I don't know how you say that. But yeah, it's a lot of groups and a lot of artists that are just doing crazy stuff at the moment. Everything I said is worth checking out. Absolutely. Is this the end part? Can I do some more shout outs or?
Oh, you can absolutely. You can do as many shout outs as you want. This has been great.
Oh, fantastic! No, I've really enjoyed it as well, mate. I do love coming on and not being the guy asking the questions for once. It's great. It really is enjoyable. No,
yeah,
I
guess this is a podcast, but also doubled as like a mini interview of you for a little bit. So yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I want to shout out Jamie and our new co-writer Marrow, produced Prod Marrow. He's in a group called Helix. He's actually from Sheffield, which is where I'm from. If anyone doesn't know anything about Sheffield, that's where the Arctic Monkeys are from. I'm sure everyone knows Arctic Monkeys, big band, right? Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
that's about what we're famous for. But yeah, we're both from here. We're going to be writing alongside Jamie, who's from down south, I believe in or near London. And we're just trying to make the blog as interesting and accessible and as diverse as we possibly can. We're going to possibly have merch coming this year as well. My housemate Dan, who's just downstairs as we speak, is going to hopefully be working on some designs for us, and we're going to get that off the ground. I'm also planning on doing physicals of some of the tapes I've dropped, because I know people like having those as like collector pieces. And on top of that, I've also got 2 podcasts. I've got one called Just Take podcast with my friend Herme, who I mentioned earlier. We're going to be dropping the 2nd season of that very soon when I can make it down to London, and we're going to record in a proper studio. That's going to be very exciting. So I've never done anything like that. I just do everything from my bedroom at the moment. I'm in the living room right now. So it's very exciting that that's going to be happening. And I also have another podcast, which is an anime podcast. I don't know if you're into anime at all.
Yeah. I mean, there have been periods in my life where I was like super into it, and then like I kind of fell off a little bit, and I've got back into it. Like, I actually rewatched because I had heard about Netflix put on a bunch of at least in the States, Netflix had put on a bunch of like classics and stuff again, like on them. So I like rewatched all the Evangelion stuff recently. Yeah, all of that I rewatched. So I'm definitely open to any anime podcast. I don't think I've ever listened to an anime podcast though.
Well, we've got 2 episodes out. It's called Heaven's Arena podcast, which is a Hunter reference. Hunter X Hunter. I shouldn't say it without the X. It sounds weird. Hunter X Hunter. It's named after that, one of our favorite arcs in it. And basically every week we just pick one anime, a film or series, and one manga and review it. And we also have guests on. We had Elf Beats, who I mentioned earlier, who did a lot of production for Chxpo, and also a Trippie Redd song. It's a bit of trivia for you. He was on the first episode. He also did our theme, which is called Black Swordsman. It samples the Berserk main title theme. Really, really cool stuff. And we're going to hopefully have Tethra64 of our one on soon. Bunch of other guests, so, just people whose music is like related to anime in some way.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. We're kind of combine the 2. So that's the 2 podcasts I got. Both are available on streaming. You can listen to all 10 episodes of the first season of Just Take, which includes a Bloodline Genesis interview in episode 7. Very rare Bloodline Genesis interview. So if you want to know more about Bloodline, definitely check that out. Episode 7 of Just Take podcast. And we're definitely hoping to get those off the ground some more. I'm going to do a few more shout outs and then I'll be done. I want to say shout out to Soulless, the rap group Soulless, for being the first people to ever fuck with me properly. I wrote a lot about their music at the start, and they're all great guys. Shout out to Southern Goth Mob, especially Lil Deceased, for always showing me love. I've hosted more songs for him than almost anyone. I want to say shout out to Liquid Snake, now Cybernetic Snake. He's an awesome artist and needs much more love. And also 63, his primary producer, who's also from England. He's making next level sounds. Like you will see produced by 63 in some big names soon, I guarantee it. He is a huge, huge talent. And I also want to shout out all of our one, especially Tethra though, because again, Teth is such a great guy to chat to. And he's hopefully moving to the UK soon, actually, I believe he said. So that'll be interesting, because I know he loves like the drum and bass, the liquid, the drum and bass scene out here. He loves that stuff. That's why his music is so, well, that's, we'll save that for another episode. His stuff is crazy. But I think that's basically everybody. I just want to shout out anyone that I follow that fucks with me, that I've ever hosted music for, and who hasn't subsequently been a prick to me. Appreciate that. Like, that's why your song is still up, Right. I just appreciate everybody. I've hosted so many songs, like over 500 tracks on my SoundCloud, and anyone has ever come up for an interview, because I haven't been very productive recently with those, but I've just been focusing on other aspects of my life. So just everyone who actually is like makes an effort with me to treat me not just like some faceless blogger. because I recently changed my app from 108 Mics to 108 Seraph, and 108 Mics is now the group page, because I just like to separate my personal life from the blog aspects, where literally people think they can get whatever they want from me. But I appreciate all those that are cool, and I appreciate you for having me on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'd love to do this again, honestly. I feel like I have a lot more to say.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, well, I can go for days, man. I'm a proper motor mouth, so it's
no.
it's I am gonna leave it there. But yeah, shout out to everyone who fucks with 108 Mics and who fucks with me. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, no, of course, and rightfully so. They all should. Whether it's those of us that have looked to you and some others for recommendations, or have seen something on a list like I did, and then just like went down a giant rabbit hole that's taken me months, and I still picked up. I have about, let's see, I want to say about 12 to 14 tabs open right now of releases that I'm going to get to as soon as we're done with this. So like,
awesome.
It's really, it's honestly like a fucking like great pleasure, honor to have you on, and like obviously to John as well. Obviously only made about through halfway through the episode, unfortunately, but both you guys have been really influential, and like, you know, even if it's on a small scale of like, you know, getting people into this stuff, or hosting in your case, you know, or putting tracks up, like it's still a big deal, and you know, your contributions to the scene have been huge. So definitely I
appreciate that, mate.
Appreciate you noticing our podcast and coming on for a talk. This was definitely fun, and we'll definitely have you on. We'll talk, you know, off air about whatever stuff we can plan for the future. But this was a great talk. Really appreciate it.
This is awesome, mate. And thanks everyone for listening as well. Please check out 108mics.com and follow me on Twitter at 108 Seraph. I'm fairly entertaining, I've been told. So yeah, definitely
follow him. Definitely check out everything 108 Mics. Definitely want to keep promoting that, keep that going, because it's definitely a gold mine for a lot of different music. So give Chris a follow. Give everything 108 Mics a follow. Give his RYM account a follow if you're on the website. And you know, if you're interested in this scene, a lot of the stuff that we've gone over today is definitely a great entry point. And for one of the more like exciting scenes to me, like in rap and in music at large right now. So definitely a lot of good stuff, and hopefully more good stuff going forward. So
definitely, mate.
Yeah. And I guess with that, you know, our outro music is Stagnated Pace by Kick. And this has been You're Living Off Borrowed Time. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and keep listening to all this dark shit.
It ain't gonna never stop. 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 It ain't gonna never stop.
Of all time will dawn upon us.